folks, the Cats are going to the Super Regionals.
We're back in Arlington, Texas for the final time this weekend. Game 6 at the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. Kansas State has been the story of the weekend, going 2-0, and they square off against fellow Big 12 foe TCU, who hopes to respond well after a 2-1 heartbreaker against Arkansas last night. Hi, everybody. Welcome back inside Globe Life Field one more time with the former big league pitcher Pat Combs. I'm Ben Wilson. We better be ready out of the gates. That was the message from TCU, Kansas State rather, head coach Pete Hughes all preseason. His team started just 1-4, but they've been awesome in 2 wins. Pat, what's impressed you the most about these Wildcats?
Yeah, they have been, Ben. It's really just them starting so well in this tournament after coming in 1-4, like you mentioned. It's a typical Pete Hughes team. Look, their team is gritty. They're tough. They fight hard. It's kind of the personality of their head coach, so you just knew at some point it was going to turn around. But look, 23 new faces on this roster. Well, you just knew it was going to take maybe a weekend or two for them to get going.
And a part of this tournament, they were the only team who struggled opening weekend. Everybody else came in without a loss. TCU has a chance to leave winners of this weekend with a win over TCU. And this is how they line up, brought to you by Amegy Bank. Dante Lewis was unbelievable. The freshman two-way player, we saw him throw 4 perfect innings in relief yesterday. Now he's in the lineup today. He's back at the top of the order. Seth Dardar and D. Kennedy both hit home runs. They went back-to-back the other day. They are actually flipped now in the order. Dardar will bat in front of Kennedy. A dangerous lineup for head coach Pete Hughes. That knocked off Michigan yesterday after an upset win over Arkansas on Friday nights. This is a non-conference matchup, technically, but these two teams are awfully familiar with each other. And K-State will face Trevor Baumler, makes his 2nd start of the season for TCU.
Yeah, highly touted freshman from Urbandale, Iowa. He could become a fixture in the TCU rotation. It's quite a significant feat for a freshman on this incredibly talented pitching staff. But Baumler got head coach Kirk Saarloos' attention with a strong fall, and he earns his 2nd start of the season today. Fastball that's a sinking fastball in the low 90s. He can touch 95 with it, but just good complementary stuff behind it.
This is how the Horned Frogs line up behind him. Defense, a huge talking point for head coach Kirk Saarloos in the run-up to this tournament. Did not commit an error last game, first time they've played a fully clean game. And they bring back Carson Bowen, who did not play Friday night, the starting catcher. He makes a 2nd straight start behind the dish, as does Preston Gamster, gets another start for the 2nd straight day at 3rd base. Starting a little bit behind schedule in this final game of the weekend, but that's Sunday baseball and the college game for you. Just before 4 o'clock local time, and we're ready to go. Dante Lewis against Trevor Baumler, and the first pitch is in there for a called strike. It's the new era of college baseball, and the scheduling, the conference realignment, it's all resulted in this being the first year since 1987 TCU and Kansas State will not play a regular season series in the Big 12. So that's what made today's game possible, as this one is fouled off.
Yeah, typically don't try to pair up conference foes during these preseason tournaments. Call it preseason, pre-conference play. But today it works out just right when they don't connect here in the Big 12 this year.
Baumler quickly ahead 0-2 to Lewis. Takes a called strike 3. Pretty curveball from Baumler as the freshman sits down a fellow freshman.
Yeah, nice pitch from Baumler. Get things going here for the Horned Frogs. And he's a guy that just has one of those slow heartbeats on the mound. And talked to Kirk Sarlos, and he says, you know, just great command, really calm presence. He'll be one of the more poised freshmen you'll see on the bump this year.
Faces Micah Dean, who is the hero Friday. Dean golfs one high into left field. Myers giving chase, camped under it, and makes the catch. 2 fast outs for Trevor Baumler, who was initially supposed to be competing for the third weekend starting spot with Tommy Lepore as well as Caden Parker, but with injuries really hurting this TCU staff, all 3 of those guys, Pat, will be the starters this weekend.
Yeah, losing Ben Abelt, of course, when you think about the history he has at TCU, being a great closer, but they were going to convert him into be a starting pitcher this year, and then has the blowout, has Tommy John surgery last week. He's out for the season. But like Kirk Sarlos has said, hey, it's just kind of move everybody up one spot, and we'll take it from here.
Called strike to Seth Dardar. And you think about who Baumler was initially competing with for that final weekend spot. You had a guy with D1 experience at Wichita State, as this is swung on and missed on a curve 0-2. Tommy Lepore, who was very good in last night's start, and Caden Parker, a guy who'd been in the program a couple seasons, ended up getting the ball on Friday. But while Cole Klecker's still out dealing with an oblique injury, and they know Ben Abelt's gone for the season, Baumler has really stepped up, and he clearly looks the part, as he has not looked nervous whatsoever in this first inning, working a curveball down and out of the zone.
Yeah, you don't often find freshmen that really have a good understanding of how to pitch, but Baumler brings that, and that's, you know, a guy that doesn't have to rely on a mid-90s fastball. He just really moves the ball around, has great command of his off-speed stuff. You've seen 3 breaking balls here to Dardar. That last one, really good pitch down below the zone.
Up high, 94 on the gun to Dardar.
Great start of the season for Seth Dardar, leading the Cats in hits with 11 and just a ton of power. He's one of the guys in the lineup you just will have to pitch around if there's a game-winning situation.
Works the count full to 3-2. It's that rare combination of a guy with tons of power who also has a great eye. He's drawn 3 walks already. We've seen multiple pitchers give Dardar a ton of respect and pitch around him.
Yeah, 5 extra base hits of those 11 already.
Right on cue, works the 3-2 walk with 2 outs. And brings up the Texas transfer D. Kennedy. Hit his first home run as a Wildcat yesterday.
Yeah, Baumler had him 0-2, got out in front with a couple of breaking pitches, but just could not find that kill pitch.
A notable shift in the color scheme today at Globe Life Field after our first game. Most of that Razorback red has left the building as the fastball's outside. A whole lot of purple today. Wildcats and Horned Frogs.
Yeah, fun to have Arkansas in the building. Fan base brings a lot of folks and a lot of energy. They lose the opening game to these Kansas State Wildcats, but they came back and won 2 in a row. Big win last night, 2-1. That was a epic pitchers battle.
In front of almost 18,000 last night. Chop to the left side. Nice glove by Gamster. Makes the spin and the throw off the bat of D. Kennedy. Baumler gets out of the first after a 2-out walk, and the Horned Frogs are coming to bat next.
Possibility. At Shriners Children's, we deliver healing to kids with critical burn injuries, like game-changing advances in regenerative medicine and creating the highest standard of care. We never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs, proving time and again what's possible by empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Shot by Farrington, and it goes home. North Texas has come all the way back. The dream continues for Bernard Kamungo. All aboard the choo-choo train. Ricardo Pepi.
Possible Missions and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking by sharing the same values both in the office and out in the community. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, by being a true community partner. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Horned Frogs of TCU coming to bat in the bottom of the first after Trevor Baumler fires a clean top half. Here's their lineup, brought to you by Amegy Bank, and head coach Kirk Saarloos sends the same starting 9 as last night in a 2-1 loss to Arkansas. Carson Bowen been the team's leading hitter through the first weekend. He sat out Friday night, makes his second straight start behind the dish. Kirk giving our camera the stare down right there. He knows he's got an in-game interview coming up in the bottom of the third. There was no blinkage either in that. That was awfully impressive. His team faces Lincoln Sheffield. Got touched up a bit in his first start of the season for Kansas State, but a really bright future for the junior lefty who comes in this year out of the JUCO level.
Yeah, Sheffield's a strike throwing machine, and head coach Pete Hughes thinks he could become the Cats' solid number 3 Sunday starter. Brings a ton of competitiveness and get after it attitude on the bump. As you mentioned, the JUCO college transfer from Hines Community College had a successful season there. The only question mark for him is, will that stuff translate to this level? And at times, I think you got to realize, you know, you throw a lot of strikes, then you got to throw better strikes once you get ahead.
Starts off with a fastball just low to Preston Gamster. Lincoln Sheffield hoping to duplicate what the freshman Dante Lewis did in relief yesterday. That one's in there for a strike. I mentioned Lewis because he statistically did not have a very good first outing either, but his head coach Pete Hughes said the stuff was all there.
That's
we just
right.
didn't field behind him. Hughes said the same thing about Lincoln Sheffield. Chopper fouled on the third baseline. His stuff was way better than the final line score, giving up 10 hits in his first start. Speaking of the defense, it's been so good for K-State. 11 errors their first 5 games, none this weekend. David Bishop, the former TCU Horned Frog, he's the captain of that defense, playing at first, and we've already seen Micah Dean make a couple of exceptional plays out in center field. In tight with a slider on 1 and 2.
Yeah, they clean things up a whole lot. And look, you know, you go from playing on grass and dirt to coming into Globe Life Field. You've got this artificial turf with dirt, but it makes a huge difference on this infield especially.
Wave and a miss. How good was that changeup?
Yeah, Gamster way out in front of that pitch, and job of Sheffield to pull the string. Well spotted as well in the outside corner.
Faces Isaac Cadena, 1 for 5 this weekend with the 2-run homer. Three-quarter wave and a miss through that fastball. And it's 0-1. Lincoln Sheffield gave up 3 earned in 5 innings at Coastal Carolina last Saturday. 10 hits, but did not walk anybody. Kept everything in the zone. 6 strikeouts. As this one's fouled off 0-2. Here is what Isaac Cadena did. This was on Friday against Michigan. It just had enough to get out of the yard.
That breaking ball from Quedens just kind of hung there, but Cadena did a great job of keeping those hands back, just letting that ball travel. And just put a great swing on it.
Slider makes it 1 and 2. Got him. Another little 3/4 offering, and on the slider, it's back-to-back Ks for Lincoln Sheffield.
Yeah, Cadena not fully committed on 2 swings, and that just tells you the type of spin Sheffield has on that breaking pitch. Really hard to pick up out of his hand. Cadena red fastball. Ball just darts down and away from him. Good start for Sheffield. Showing some great stuff, and it's exactly what you want from your starting pitcher. Come out, command the zone early, work ahead. Good things will happen.
There's a strike. Change up to Chase Brunson. You think about how K-State has stacked this back-to-back. Michael Quevedo, the transfer left-hander yesterday, coming in from Nicholls State. This fastball outside. Now you get the JUCO transfer from Lincoln Sheffield, who Coach Pete Hughes said made the strongest impression of any of his JUCO guys coming in this year. Hard shot off of the glove of Kennedy, pops straight up into the air. Maximus Martin just has to eat it. 108 miles an hour off the bat. And it's the first base runner of the day for TCU.
Yeah, hit well off the bat of Brunson, but play that D. Kennedy usually makes. Yeah, that last short hop caught him and just could not get his glove down quick enough. Trying to work from the air down to the ground. You want to go ground up.
We'll give Chase Brunson an infield single, mostly on the back of how hard that was hit. You're right, a ball D. Kennedy will tell you he should probably make the play on. As this changeup misses outside to Noah Franco.
Yeah, some generous hometown scoring.
Yeah, we're 20 minutes away from Fort Worth. A lot of TCU staff members and some students also here getting experience running the game operations. They do a great job whenever we're here.
I look for Brunson to pick a pitch to run on.
Wave and a miss. That's in the dirt, and Brunson does go. He was ready for anything that wasn't cleanly handled back there by Bear Madliak.
And it'll go down as a wild pitch. Madliak just could not get a handle on it. Made a good job of getting in front of it and stopping it, keeping it out in front. Would have had a play had he been able to pick it up cleanly.
Last season's preseason Big 12 Freshman of the Year takes a leadoff second. Watches this year's Big 12 preseason Freshman of the Year take a swing and a miss.
Yeah, left-handed bats in this lineup have not seen the spin well off the hand of Sheffield, and that slider well out of the zone.
Got him. Back to the slider. Lincoln Sheffield on it early. He strikes out 3 Horned Frogs. We'll check in with his head coach, Pete Hughes, on the other side.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
Solid start for both pitchers as we go to the second inning. Each in just their second career starts for their respective clubs. 0-0 between Kansas State and TCU. Trevor Baumler, 6'3", true freshman from Urbandale, Iowa. The zone command has been super impressive out of the gates, and it follows in line with what TCU has had on the mound all weekend.
Yeah, really sharp, and that's what you typically expect from a Kirk Saarloos coach team. They're going to have strike throwers.
First pitch, fly ball to medium left center. Sam Myers, Chase Brunson over. It's Brunson the call on the catch. Nick English 1 pitch, 1 out. By the way, they changed that official scoring from the last inning. They heard you, Pat. Chase Brunson's single was changed to an E5, the first error all weekend by K-State.
Yep, I'll agree with that change. That's a play D. Kennedy makes 99 out of 100 times.
They got it right. That's all that matters. And now Shintaro Inoue takes a first pitch ball on a fastball.
Yeah, it's really impressive to watch both of these pitchers come out of the gate strong. You know, you never know what you're going to get on a Sunday third start. Both guys really commanding the zone well to start the game.
Change up on the outer half. Let's look no further than the game that preceded us. Major struggle for both teams on the pitching side. Admittedly, Arkansas starter pulled up with a shoulder injury. As that one's a bullet to the right side. Second hit of the weekend for Shintaro Inoue.
Yeah, good at bat for Inoue. He took that changeup offering, caught the outside corner. This time gets a breaking ball, just kind of hangs over the middle of the plate. Did a really good job of staying back on it.
Brings up Bear Madliak. Inoue, even in a small sample size, has been the most dangerous Wildcat on the base pass. Couple stolen bases already. On cue, gets a throwback for a team that rode the base paths last year to its success, even though they only went 15-15 in conference play. It was a big deciding factor in K-State's run to their second ever super regional. A bullet past the dive of Silva at short. Two hard hit balls to start the inning. Inoue followed by Madliak. After that fly out to left by Nick English, and Maximus Martin comes up with 2 on and 1 out.
Yeah, ball was smoked, and Anthony Silva didn't react too well. I think he thought that ball was going to come right at him, but it took a late dive. Yeah, just didn't react to it well off the bat. He almost took a stutter step towards the second base bag. It just allows that ball to get underneath him. It was smoked. Thought it might get to the gap, but good cutoff there in right left field by Sam Myers.
Maximus Martin takes a called strike on the slider. We've already seen Inoue reach this inning. He and Martin were in the preseason shortstop battle, but both guys had bats that were good enough. They'd be in the lineup, each of them regardless. Martin won the shortstop spot. Inoue moved to second. Runners going as the bunt is fouled. We told you the Wildcats like to run.
Yeah, they are. They're an athletic team. It's very similar lineup to TCU. TCU's a big physical team. They can hit the ball out, but they like to run as well. Yeah, Bear Madliak with a huge lead at first base. David Bishop pulled over towards second. Just missed.
Not by much on the curveball. You see Martin playing with that clear see-through mask on the face. Took a ball to the cheek. Some extra padding on that cheek. That was last weekend in the Coastal Carolina tournament where K-State struggled, went 1-3. Stays alive.
Yeah, good job by Martin to stay back on that changeup.
Despite getting hit in the face with a pitch, he's still off to a great start. 5 for his first 13. Spoils another one foul.
And Bomber trying to sneak that fastball by him, and good battle here ensuing between Martin and Baumler.
Baumler was the Sunday starter last weekend in San Diego, went 5 strong, 2 earned runs allowed. Goes off speed, but the curveball is a little high. In a game that could very well be a future matchup at Globe Life Field, right back here in late May as part of the Big 12 tournament. The 2-2. Fly ball into shallow center. Brunson comes in. Will Inoue try to tag? He will not. Not deep enough, and there's 2 outs.
Yeah, good job by Chase Brunson, center field. Just positions himself well to get behind that pop-up and make a strong throw to third base.
Now, we've seen one player on a current team face his former team this weekend. Logan Maxwell, the former TCU Horned Frog, now with Arkansas, faced his former team yesterday. Now the same deal coming here with David Bishop, former Horned Frog, now the 9-hitter for K-State. First pitch curveball just misses inside.
Well, they have the book on Bishop.
They do.
How do you get him out? Well, they know how to do that, but then you have to have a pitcher execute. And Bishop has made some adjustments as well, become a much better hitter.
Big wave and a miss. They throw behind Inoue. Good job by Cole Kramer. Had to go high to keep that from going to the outfield.
Yeah, Bowen trying to throw behind Inoue and back in plenty of time. Bishop more known for his defensiveness. Great first baseman.
Shot foul, and it's 1-2. It's not like David Bishop was some reserve, barely getting action for TCU. He started 85 games over 2 seasons, was on the Big 12 All-Freshman team in 2022. Eight career home runs, 64 RBI, now his second season as a Wildcat. Oh, coming in, that got the bat, not the player, and it remains 1-2.
Yeah, Bishop started the swing and then tried to hold up as that fastball came bearing inside on him. Caught barrel, but I think it didn't ricochet off and hit umpire or catcher.
TCU fans make some noise. Lays off a 1-2 changeup, 2-2.
Well, Bishop has seen everything that Baumler offers.
Lays off again. That slider runs outside. Good battle early. We're just underway, top of the second in a 0-0 game. Inoue and Madliak set to take off on this pitch. David Bishop has 1 career hit against his former team. The runners go. It's just outside. Changeup can't find the zone. Low and outside, and the bases are loaded. Back to the top of the order for the talented freshman 2A player Dante Lewis.
Yeah, a little careful with David Bishop there. Did not want to challenge him with the fastball on a full count. Baumler goes changeup instead, and that pitch is out of the zone. So first chance to strike goes to the Wildcats as Kirk Saarloos makes his first visit today. Quick meeting.
He seems satisfied as he trots back to the dugout. Dante Lewis has struggled so far at the plate this weekend, where he's 0 for 5, was the leadoff hitter Friday night, then came in out of the bullpen yesterday. Just 1 hit as a hitter so far, but has great speed, also a really good eye at the plate for a young player, partially due to the fact he's also a really good pitcher. 3 walks, just 1 strikeout. Skewers 1 foul down the right field line.
Yeah, really impressed with Dante Lewis. He's just flat out a baseball player. And the guy was unbelievable on the mound yesterday. 4 perfect innings. He just has a lot of compete and bulldog in him. And so as a freshman player, he's on the mound. He's shaking pitches. It was just fun to watch.
Swing and a miss late on the fastball.
He's such a great athlete right now at this stage in his game. It's like, okay, is he going to be a position player or pitcher? Well, he showed off what he could do on the mound last night. But he's still a good enough position player, great athlete that you want to keep him in this lineup.
Punches one back up the box, but Chase Brunson is right there to make the catch. Trevor Baumler gets out of a bases loaded situation. It stays 0-0 with TCU back to the plate in the bottom of the second.
First, at Shriners Children's, the world's most advanced scoliosis procedures are born here. In fact, we deliver access to the world's best doctors for nearly every pediatric orthopedic condition. Where delivering care without compromise is our promise. And kids can just be kids. Because being first always starts with empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say, IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made and champions are born.
Back at Globe Life Field in Arlington, 0-0 to the bottom of the second. Kansas State Wildcats off to a great start this weekend for their 7th-year head coach Pete Hughes after making it to Super Regionals for the first time since 2013. They shocked Arkansas, won that regional as the 3 seed. It was the classic 3-4 regional final, Pat. You don't often see that. They beat SEMO to get to Supers and have brought in a bunch of newcomers, 23 of them, including their starter today, Lincoln Sheffield, off to an awesome start on the mound.
Yeah, he's looked sharp, and yeah, thinking about that historic season for Kansas State last year. Boy, so fun to watch. You know, Pete Hughes, tremendous coach, does a great job, and we'll hopefully talk to him here another inning or so. But yeah, what a great season for the Cats, and looking to continue that winning tradition. Now he's going to have to do it with a lot of new faces this year. This guy right here on the mound, Lincoln Sheffield, one of those new guys.
Bases Cole Kramer to start the bottom of the second, and it's a called strike. Kramer, the one guy in the Horned Frog lineup who struggled this weekend, 0 for 9 with a walk as he fouls one off. Should be at least 1 for 9, but he missed the bag on a double on Friday night against the Michigan Wolverines. Change up, misses high and away.
Yeah, would have been a stand-up double. That was a tough one to take. Completely stepped over the bag, tried to drag that back leg across the top, and Michigan dugout were screaming for the appeal, and he was rung up on it.
Actually, that was Nick English Friday night for K-State.
Ah.
Hey, this looks so similar. Kramer fouls that one back.
They do.
Feel bad now. Hey, don't worry, Cole, you did not miss a base. That's okay. We've got like a billion games going on. Easy to lose track of that. Now, Kramer looking for the first hit this weekend. Wazoo transfer as that fastball just misses high and outside, 2-2.
Yeah, there is a resemblance between those two players.
There is.
Yeah.
I can't be the only one who sees that. He flies this one to right. Pretty good charge into it. Nick English leaps and can't get there. There's the first hit of the weekend for Cole Kramer. A booming double high off the wall as TCU is in business.
Yeah, sometimes you have to talk about it like that. When Kramer comes through, yeah, just goes backside with this pitch. Not a bad pitch from Sheffield, but Kramer stays on it. Looks like he was trying to go that direction with it. Yeah, just over the outstretched glove of Nick English up against the wall. And there is your leadoff double. He did not miss the bag.
He did not. Hit it at his kind of lookalike out there and right. Now it's Carson Bowen. He had an adventurous night last night. Did not play Friday. They gave the catcher a rest day, but took a hit by pitch yesterday. Also a walk. Did have a base hit. Takes a fastball high, 1-0. Taking all the way, change up in for a strike. I don't know how Carson Bowen did it, but despite his 215-pound build, he did have an inside the park home run last weekend, opening day against San Diego, team's first since 2021. Fouls this one back on a ball, basically hit to dead center. But it was not some like Prince Fielder shot off the Metrodome speakers or something fluky. Like, he earned it. Kirk Saarloos was talking to us about it this week. Once he gets going, he's got good speed for a catcher. Slow roll to the left side will not advance the runner Kramer as Martin charges and makes the play.
Yeah, I think he qualifies as sneaky speed, right?
Sneaky speed. There we go.
Yeah, unsuccessful there. You know, trying to hit that ball to the right side just to advance Kramer. Still trying to go for a base hit, but that time gets fooled on a pitch and pulls it right to shortstop Maximus Martin.
Brings up Sam Myers, one of the best eyes on the team. Couple of walks this weekend. 1 for 6 with a couple driven in. First pitch boomed foul. What do you make of how Kirk Saarloos kept the same lineup as last night, even though he's got a bunch of lefties here facing a fellow lefty today?
Yeah, probably trying to neutralize that changeup. Sheffield's got a good one, and maybe felt like the matchups against his breaking ball were better than his right-handers against changeups.
4 lefties in the starting 9 today.
Yeah, it didn't look so good in that first inning. 3 punch-outs for Sheffield, and a lot of it on breaking stuff down and away from those left-handed hitters.
Just shows you how you can have different approaches, have success. Arkansas went exclusively platoon today. Good pitch on the slider, catches a piece.
Yeah, Sheffield knew he had to have that pitch working today with this heavy left-handed lineup, and he has spotted that pitch well.
Fights it off. Part of what stands out to me about Kirk Saarloos' decision to keep the lineup the same speaks to the culture they have with their hitting coach who's back, Bill Mosiello, his second stint, 10th year overall. They feel like no matter who's out there on the mound, lefty, righty, submariner, guy throwing 100 miles an hour,
right.
Their guys are built to handle whatever. One of the best offenses in the country, but Myers swings and misses here on a slider. And so far, K-State's starter, Sheffield, has won the battle.
Yeah, another look at this slider. This one stays up in the zone. Really wasn't one of his better pitches. Just gets underneath the hands of Sam Myers.
Brings Anthony Silva to the plate in the 8-hole. Drives this one fouled down the third base line. And TCU does have another lefty on deck in Sawyer Stroh-Snyder.
Yeah, it puts a little bit more pressure on these right-handed hitters for TCU to come up with some big hits today. If Sheffield continues to mow down those lefties.
You wonder if Silva's feeling the pressure at all. He struggled in 2024 after a great freshman season. Fastball inside. Coach has said he had a great fall, was tremendous with his leadership.
Yeah, looked like he was making some great strides offensively.
Little jam shot, but Ino Uwe is right there up the middle to make the catch. Despite the leadoff double, Lincoln Sheffield calmly retires the next 3 batters, and we go to the 3rd still without a run on the board.
Bowman Engineering and Consulting and their dedicated Amegy business banker worked together to put the us in business banking, which included the occasional lunch meeting. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing. With comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, planning sessions whenever you need them. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Arlington, the Renegades are going full throttle this spring when the UFL returns.
What a catch!
Get ready for more action-packed football and unforgettable experiences at Choctaw Stadium.
That is something special right there.
Renegades, mount up and get your tickets today.
Nothing as we head to the 3rd final game of 6 this weekend as part of the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. A reminder that all 3 weekends are benefiting Shriners Children's, with a portion of ticket sales going to a worthy cause that is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. To donate, you can scan that QR code on your screen or visit globelifefield.com/collegebaseball. That's the beauty of it, Pat. We still have another weekend after this. Arkansas, K-State, Michigan, TCU, they've all represented themselves really well. And we'll do it all again in about 5 days.
That's right. Keep those donations coming for Shriners Children's. Well, I can't think of many better nonprofits to donate to. Hospital system that takes care of kids no matter what the need. And if they can't come up with the payment, that's where Shriners steps in.
It was wonderful to have all the kids in the building last weekend. That was the Shriners Showdown, and great that even though this isn't branded that way, we still keep the donations coming as Micah Dean fouls it off to start this 3rd inning. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. A lot of good young players on both of these rosters. You have Dean out there stepping in right away this season as a redshirt freshman, taking on Baumler, the true freshman. Lays off the curveball, 1-2.
Yeah, it's often said in college baseball that you know, older lineups win, and certainly agree with that. You see teams that overperform, it's usually with more mature, experienced guys, but you have to have places for freshmen and sophomores to step into this lineup. And both clubs doing a great job. They're both really well known for developing players. But you know, you bring up 7, 8 freshmen in a year, you've got to find places to allow them to play, or they get frustrated and leave.
In tight, was that a foul or a hit by pitch?
Yeah, they're going to rule it hit by pitch.
Hit by pitch.
Yep. So Dean held up on the swing. He started the swing, but then holds up. Well, that's really close. Yeah. That ball, it did hit his hand, and so he's going to be awarded first base.
I'm not surprised Kirk Sarlos is asking our first base umpire, John Bramer, what he saw.
Yeah, it looked like a swing from here.
Clint Fagan calling balls and strikes.
That's just a judgment call at first base, and Bramer ruled it that he held up the swing. Now they're getting a little heated. Yeah, Sarlos does not take kindly to reaction by John Bramer.
Well, remember last night we had the controversial play at first base that went against TCU on a play you and I, Pat, both felt the Horned Frogs were on the wrong end of. It was a play at the base where we've added the green base for the runners. Arkansas's Cam Kosher looked like he was covering both the first base bag and the green bag for the runner, but it didn't go that way for TCU. They did not get an interference call, and another decision by a first base umpire, Kirk Sarlos, obviously does not agree with.
Yeah, a couple of tough calls that did not go TCU's way. That obstruction call at first base, I don't know what the official ruling was. We couldn't hear from the umpires why they didn't rule obstruction, but yeah.
Sometimes ball don't lie. 1-6-3. Dardar grounds one right back to Baumler. Made a really nice play to start that out, and Silva makes the turn.
That's good, Ben. The ball doesn't lie. Yeah, sometimes it just works out that way in baseball, right? Yeah, let your head coach do the griping for you. If you're Trevor Baumler, just get back on the mound and throw a good pitch and get a double play ball hit right back at you. Nice job by Baumler. That is not an easy play, throwing uphill back towards the mound, and he made that look easy. Hit Silva right in the chest with it.
Called strike to D. Kennedy. That's why they teach you don't fall to one side, right, on the release. Get that nice square finish.
There you go. This P-off P's paying off early here for the Horned Frogs.
And Kennedy takes a changeup low, 1-1.
I used to hate it as a player, pitcher fundamentals practice, but you know, it pays off. And I can say I never committed an error. That was,
there you go.
Yeah, took pride in that.
Changeup down low, 2-1. Big wave and a miss. Well, your home ballpark back then, I'm sure the ball just, and it was like a rocket coming off that turf at the vet.
Yeah,
so you had to be
really
ready.
Bad turf. Yeah, that's right.
All the scratches and rips and that stuff.
Just
outside.
Yep. Now, I think if you look up players with over 75 innings of play at the major league level, and see how many of those players did not commit an error, there's not many of them, just a handful.
After the nice play by Baumler, gets a swing and a miss. On a fastball right on the outside edge. Kennedy can't make contact, and Baumler gets himself to start the double play, then the punch out. As we head to the bottom of the third, Pete Hughes joins us from the K-State dugout right after this.
Resilience. At Shriners Children's, we're leaders in pediatric sports medicine. With expertise in sprains, tears, fractures, and other sports-related injuries. We're here to deliver the best care in the business and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. Because every great comeback starts with a game plan for empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Naylor Industries and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, focusing on their business needs with lightning speed. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry. Because you're more than a customer, we're more than a bank, and together we'll help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, a banking partner who is just as invested in your growth as you are. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Nothing to the bottom of the third between K-State and TCU. We're joined right now by head coach of the Wildcats, Pete Hughes. Part of our in-game interviews brought to you by Amegy Bank. Coach will ask you about Lincoln Sheffield in a second, but Pat and I were both up here basically speechless last night watching Dante Lewis. The freshman was just amazing for you out of the pen. How special is it to have a kid like that, freshman, two-way player who can do it all for you?
Yeah, he's pretty talented. The future's obviously really bright, and phenomenal kid, character through the roof. And as you saw yesterday, there's no moment too big for him. He embraces it, honestly, and I haven't seen a learning curve with him yet. There will be, but he's as good as it gets. We got a lot of trust with him. That's his second outing for us, and the trust factor is just huge. And basically was the story of the game yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt, Pete. Pat Combs here with you. Man, I love the mound presence of Lincoln Sheffield. You call him a strike thrower, but he just really commands the ball well, doesn't he?
He does, and he's really mature, and he doesn't get worked up with barrel contact, or he's not afraid of the zone. As you can see, he works really fast. It keeps our defense in it, and also keeps our umpires in the game, and doesn't allow your offense to make adjustments pitch to pitch. But that's his ability to hold a running game and fill up the zone. Those are his strengths.
You just said soft contact. It's a weak fly ball to center. Micah Dean makes the catch. Sawyer Stroh-Snyder retired for the first out. Well, the last time TCU and K-State did not face each other in the regular season, Pat Combs was one of the best pitchers in the country at Baylor. That tells you how long it's been, Coach. Weird new scheduling now. I'm sure for you, though, like you've been there, done that. You've seen it all. How do you guys adjust to this new look conferences? It seems like it changes every single year.
We're excited about it. It expands our brand. Expands our recruiting base, and we bring a lot of talented teams in our conference, so it can be a more solid conference from top to bottom, so we can keep adding to those teams in postseason play.
Yeah, I love it, Pete. Hey, 23 newcomers. What's your philosophy with all this portal stuff going on? And then you guys are so good at developing young players, but tell us what your approach is to all this.
Well, Pat, college baseball's it's really old right now. We got a bunch of 23-year-olds running out there watching us, and it's so uncommon, but now it's common, and that's what it is. So what that means is it makes it even more difficult for that high school athlete to come in and play without a huge learning curve. I mean, Dante's an exception. They have a bunch of arms. We're watching one tonight, right? That those guys are exceptionally talented, but we have to go portal, if we want to keep up with the skill level, and especially in the Power 4. And so that means we'll go less and less with the high school. We will not abandon the high school, that's for sure. We have a strong network in certain parts of the country where we will continue to go after the high school player. But that high school player has to have a role in our program as a freshman, or it's not fair to him, and it's not really going to help our depth out.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Pete, last thing for me is I think your beard looks way better than Thomas's.
Well. Pat, my wife's got this George Clooney thing going, So I'm gonna go with it.
Well, that's a good last word. A nice comp there. Coach, always a pleasure. Great covering your guys this weekend.
Thanks for everything, guys.
Absolutely. 1-2-3 inning for Lincoln Sheffield. George Clooney, Pat Hughes. There's a resemblance. We go to the fourth after this.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new. We on a new wave. This ain't what it was. See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12. Now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know we are
Good pitchers battle so far. No score as we go to the fourth. It's a pair of Big 12 teams squaring off. The last time these two teams faced each other, it was here at the Big 12 tournament in 2024. TCU got the better of K-State that day. Who will win this year? Well, the two teams at the top of the poll have struggled out of the gates. Oklahoma State and Arizona. TCU off to a really good start, even though K-State's down in 8th and lost 4 of their first 5. Pat, they put a lot of teams on notice with this weekend.
Yeah, they sure have. It's a big turnaround weekend, and Pete Hughes said we needed it. We needed to come out of the gate strong. They started 1-4 in that tournament down in Coastal Carolina, but they have turned it around this weekend at Arlington.
First pitch strike to Nick English.
That's the guy that missed second base.
That is the guy who missed second.
Or first base.
First base.
Yeah.
He ended at second base, but
yep.
wasn't for long.
Didn't
He's
count.
1 for 8 this weekend. He would be 2 for 8 if that did not happen.
That's right.
And does bear an oddly striking resemblance to Cole Kramer.
Tough way to lose a double.
TCU.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah. Well, how about Cincinnati? You saw them. They are the 3rd Big 12 ranked team. Swing and a miss here, and a quick punch out for Trevor Baumler.
Yeah, just rode that fastball up in the zone, and English cannot lay off it. Yeah, good ride up and in. Yep, just tied him up.
In our coach's interview last inning, Pete Hughes was telling us how rare and hard it is to find a freshman who does not have a learning curve coming to the college game right away. Trevor Baumler gets a fastball that's fouled off by Shintaro Inoue. One way to help yourself eliminate that learning curve, if you're a freshman like Trevor Baumler, have an older brother who's a minor league pitcher, and that's who Trevor has in his family. Carter was a 5th-round draft pick by Baltimore back in 2020. Another foul off the bat of Inoue.
Yeah, great to have that legacy, but I promise you, every time they're together, what do you think they're talking about?
Probably one thing.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not tiddlywinks.
Yeah, to make each other better and trading ideas and approaches and pitches, grips, all that stuff. Man, it's nice to have somebody older that's done it, been there and done that.
Fastball high, 1-2. Trevor's older brother Carter went straight from high school to the minor leagues. He's 22, just finished up his high A season in the Baltimore organization. That's high, 2-2. And has done pretty well. 5-1 record, 3.86 ERA has Carter in 3 minor league seasons. Outside on a changeup, 3-2. Those two guys might talk baseball, but their dad's a football guy. He played at Northern Iowa. Has to be so proud, though, of his son, Trevor Baumler. 2nd career start. Doing well against a conference foe. Inoue, a bullet right at Stroh-Snyder. Did well to track that thing in for a loud 2nd out.
Yeah, loud for sure. Inoue has really been right on Baumler tonight. Had the hard single back in the 2nd. This time a strong line drive right at, unfortunately for him, Stroh-Snyder. Had to take a few steps in and caught on the top of his shoe, but great job reading that sinking liner.
Bear Madliak with 2 out, nobody on. In on the hands, dangerous shot that catches chalk. You see it fly up down the left field line. Madliak into 2nd with a stand-up double. 2 for 2 today, Bear Madliak, and 5 for 7 this weekend.
Yeah.
Man.
Said this yesterday, but just so impressed with Madliak. You know, he doesn't have the best looking baseball body, but man, what a swing he's got. He's really putting on a show this weekend. Done a great job catching. 3rd day behind the dish for the Wildcats, and guy just continues to stay hot.
Gives Maximus Martin a crack with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Takes a called strike. This season already, 3 of Martin's 5 hits have come with a runner in scoring position. Stays off that slider running outside 1-1.
You love to see that kind of developing into one of those clutch type hitters, and that's when you love hitters to be at their best.
Running inside, the changeup's down 2-1. Pete Hughes told us portal is what gets you a lot of success if you want to stay up with the times, and he brought in Madliak from Jacksonville State, couple great years in the A-Sun, brought in Maximus Martin at bat right now from Georgia State. Hard shot to the left side, it's through. Madliak around third, throw to the plate is not in time. K-State's 2-out rally gives them the first run of the game.
Well, right on cue, Ben. You called it. Great job of setting that up. And how about that? Maximus Martin comes through yet again. This time with 2 outs. And Bear Madliak in scoring position. Just squirts it through between Gamster and Silva. And Sam Myers came charging hard, but that throw is well offline. And the Cats score first.
You call that a bear slide? Knees first in the home plate? That was great.
Not the most graceful of slides, but doesn't matter.
He didn't care one bit. He was so fired up.
He's not out here for style points.
He's not. There's another bear who does not like style points either, and he's very effective at what he does. You know, Bear Grylls, so there's something in common there. Slider outside. To David Bishop, the former Horned Frog, with Maximus Martin at second. 2-out rally from the bottom of this K-State order after Trevor Baumler was cruising.
Yeah, good advancement by Martin, too. Recognized the throw going away to home, and he didn't hesitate to take second base. And Silva now calling timeout. Infielder's going to approach the mound. A couple of quick outs, and then the double by Madliak, and the single to open up the scoring. And you don't want this thing to spiral downhill if you're TCU.
Good move by the veteran Silva, calling that meeting on the mound. Based off how that ball was hit, two-pat by Martin, you're looking at the runner Madliak thinking it's a catcher, not great speed. Thought it would be a play at the plate. Even if that ball is on line for Myers, I think Madliak beats it. That was surprisingly good speed from the catcher.
Yeah, it really was. He made a great turnaround third base.
Yeah.
It would have had been a perfect throw to make it close.
Fouled off on the 2-0 by Bishop. David Bishop, he got out the jitters of his first quote-unquote revenge game against his former team TCU. Went 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts last year when these two teams first met. So he has that out of the system. Back up the middle on 2-1, but well positioned is Cole Kramer, and he makes the play. Bear Madliak and Maximus Martin, little 2-out rally gives K-State a 1-0 lead.
At Shriners Children's, we're home to the world's leading pediatric orthopedic care. Because so many life-changing advancements start here. We provide access to the best doctors and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. We're the first place to turn for the most common or complex orthopedic conditions, home to possibility, and empowering kids to achieve the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Record-breaking global superstar, Shakira. Live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour. Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Yeah. Winning a policy, thank God for it all, it's a prophecy. Love the pressure, I am a prodigy. Everybody inside of the stadium tell me they proud of me. Shot in public, training privately. Homer, straight to the balcony. Building muscle, I never can bother me. Texas Rangers together, we by the team. Going hard, it's just a dog in me. Still a game on the road, it's a robbery. Stand on base, going strong, no apology. Corey Seager might give it too raw. Like I see you descending my arm.
1-0 K-State to the bottom of the fourth. We're joined now by TCU head coach Kirk Saarloos. Our in-game interview is brought to you by Amegy Bank. Coach, to answer your question you're asking during the break, yes, replay looked like the hitter did go around on that conversation earlier at first. You and the first base umpire haven't exactly gotten along this weekend. We thought, Pat and I thought it was obstruction at first last night, but it's also a new rule. We've got that green bag for the runner now. What did you see in that? What did the umpires tell you about
Don't
last
try
night?
to get me in trouble. Don't try to get. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
Well,
He's a smart guy.
I plead the fifth. You know, I know John really well and kind of got onto him. I thought the guy swung. And obviously, when you swing and get hit, it's a strike. It would have been strike 3. So, you know, part of that was arguing the call. Part of that was we're not swinging it too well right now, and our approach is pretty poor on this guy. I kind of wanted to get a little bit of juice in our dugout, and I told John that after the inning was over. I apologize for coming out there and getting onto him a little bit, but you know, that's just kind of the ebbs and flows of a game and trying to get things going a little bit. Hopefully have a better inning and a better approach this inning.
Yeah, Kurt, you know, that's what I was telling Ben. You know, you're one of those calm, collected guys, and you get out there and you start having a conversation. Looked like you were breaking up peacefully, then something got said, you got fired up, and I said, you know what, that does fire up your dugout. The players like to know that their head coach has their back.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do that no matter if you're playing well, you're playing poorly. They need you more when you're playing poorly, and we're doing that right now. And you know, all it takes is a couple of good at-bats together, and next thing you know, the momentum switches dugouts a little bit. We just got to get that big hit, stay on some balls. I mean, if you're going to try and pull this guy, he's going to eat your lunch. So the slider to the lefties, that was a really good breaking ball to the righty there, but he's got a changeup going. He's throwing his fastball just enough. So, you know, I'm looking for Noah to stay on a ball. How about a little left center rocket double? That's what I'd love to see right here.
All right.
Your call.
I like the call.
Yeah.
There. Well, your pitcher, Trevor Baumler's at least kept you in the game despite the run given up in the fourth. What do you like about your freshman?
Well, we obviously Noah's a freshman. Trevor's a freshman. You know, you'll see a couple guys around in the bullpen that are freshmen. Stroh-Snyder is. So we have a lot of youth in this, you know, in this dugout and in our lineups. And, you know, it's going to be great sometimes. Sometimes you're going to take your lumps a little bit, but we're excited about this group and, you know, the whole group in general. And in this transfer portal era, you know, you don't see a ton of what we're doing, and that's playing a lot of youth.
Yeah, Kirk, long line of great catchers. Carson Bowen, another one of those guys, and looks like he just brings great leadership, really helps his pitching staff. Talk about him for a moment. Yeah,
Carson, you know, he had a freshman All-American season his freshman year, and then, you know, he actually swung the bat decent last year, hit a lot of balls at people, you know, and he had a really tough fall this last fall. He had a blood clot up in his right throwing shoulder. He had to go in twice to remove a blood clot up there. You know, and then he also had thoracic outlet, which they removed that rib. Yep. So he missed all the fall, and he's taken really good at bats. I think the great thing for us is we feel like, you know, with Nolan Traeger and with Carson, we have two number ones, which allows us to be able to, you know, Nolan faced the righty on Friday, and then Carson faced the lefty yesterday and today. So it kind of keeps their legs fresh. And last year, you know, Carson would be playing first when he wouldn't be catching, so he's still on his feet. So, you know, we feel really good about, you know, the longevity of the catching position with those two guys.
Every time we come down here, you guys are always so well prepared. It's always a pleasure to watch your team, Coach. Appreciate the time as always. We'll be wishing you all the best to your rest of the way.
You bet. Go Frogs.
Well, Noah Franco tried to do what Coach was asking him to, went to the left side, but it was a ground out, and now Cole Kramer grounds out to the right side. Eno Uwe handles it. Lincoln Sheffield is rocking and rolling. 4 shutout innings as we go to the 5th. It's K-State up by a run.
I don't feel right unless the odds against me. Back against the wall with my strength. Yeah. I can't let it break. Everything I've been through, it made.
There's an old saying, everything's bigger in Texas. Well, let's just say IndyCar is about to go to a whole nother level. Get ready, Arlington. This is where history is made and champions are born.
What nothing K-State on top as we go to the 5th. It's the final game this weekend of the Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota, but we're right back here next weekend, February 28th through March 2nd. 4 elite programs, Oregon State, Auburn, Baylor, and Ohio State are set to battle it out in an epic early season clash. Can't make it to the ballpark, catch every pitch, every play, and every clutch moment live on Flow College. Here with the former Baylor All-American Pat Combs. You get the sweep today, Pat?
I didn't get it.
No.
Yeah, I lost extras. Yeah, tough day for the Bears, but
can't win them all.
Can't win them all. Yeah, and look, great start to the season for Baylor, and they were ranked 13th in the Big 12. I don't think they're going to finish anywhere close to 13th. I'm a little biased, I know, but yeah, that was just a total lack of respect.
Nothing like having a little chip on your shoulder, though. That's right. They've used it well. 6-1 start, nothing to scoff at for Baylor. See them here next weekend as Dante Lewis takes a called strike.
Yeah, great start for Trevor Baumler. Of course, give up the run last inning, but doing what you want him to do. He's throwing strikes, filling up the zone. 63% strikes coming into the inning. It was 64 pitches, 40 of those crossing the plate.
And ahead 0-2 to Dante Lewis. It's under this one into shallow left center. Silva out, Myers in. It's Sam Myers with the catch.
Yeah, good communication between the left fielder, Sam Myers, and his shortstop, Silva. Silva peels off when Myers made the call. Well, Trevor Baumler advertised as having this calm demeanor, slow heartbeat. We're certainly seeing that. Looks like he's pitching way beyond that freshman year status. Really poised out there.
Fires right in at Micah Dean. Fouls that off on a fastball running in. We saw his catcher a moment ago, Carson Bowen, back healthy after Kirk Sarlos was telling us dealt with the blood clot scare in the fall. Usually if you're a catcher like Bowen, a veteran, you have to kind of coax along your freshman, make him feel comfortable. That is not the case whatsoever. A good front door curveball makes it 0-2. Baumler's got his thing rolling. Seems like Bowen's just sort of along for the ride, helping him out. Working fast as well. Just stays alive on the foul ball by Dean.
Well, Dean starting off slow with the bat, but one of those really speedy guys you want at the top of your order.
It's one hard to left field. Just as he was waiting to get on track over the last couple days, he does. Had the huge hit Friday, game-winning double, and he's back on base with 1 out.
Yeah, much more patient at bat that time, and really stayed back well in the breaking pitch. We had seen him get out in front of some of the soft stuff in a couple of days here. Did a much better job of letting that ball travel. Always a threat to run at first base is Micah Dean.
Has stolen a base on his only attempt this season and gets on in front of Seth Dardar, who hit a hard shot right back at Baumler. Did a really nice job to field that, start a double play.
Yeah, Baumler's quick move to first base, but he's also slow to the plate. That big leg kick, we haven't seen the slide step yet. He's about 1-5 to home plate. It's going to put a little more pressure on Carson Bowen to to just have a quick release.
First pitch to Dardar, hits him. Dardar not happy as he couldn't lean out of the way. That one catching a lot of meat right on the shoulder.
Yeah, fastball trying to come in, actually set up outside was Carson Bowen. Yeah, Bomber just pulled it in. Might have been an issue of him thinking too much about Mike Dean at first base.
That does bring Carson Bowen out to the mound with D. Kennedy due up. It is amazing how you get one base runner when you've been cruising like Trevor Baumler has been. It can throw things off. And a smart decision by Bowen coming out, just giving his guy a couple minutes to calm down.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes you just got to refocus and take that deep breath. Now I get a visit from Anthony Silva at shortstop, and Kirk Saarloos trying to slow this game down a bit, let his bullpen get going.
We know D. Kennedy has a lot of pop. He showed it. His first career homer as a Wildcat came right here. Part of back-to-back homers. He led it off, then Dardar hit another one.
Yeah, big time swing from D. Kennedy, and big pickup, transfer from University of Texas, and he has settled really nicely in the middle of this Wildcat lineup.
Now after the mound visit, Kirk Saarloos makes the long, slow walk out. TCU does have some action out there in the pen.
And I think that was an attempt to slow it down so the bullpen could get ready. Looked like Trey Newman was up and hurrying, trying to get himself going, and he will get the call.
Baumler at 72 pitches, his first outing last weekend at San Diego. He went 5 innings, faced 22 batters through 67 pitches. So today, a few pitches more, and he'll come out right now with a new pitcher coming in. We'll set you up on Trey Newman when we return to Globe Life Field.
Curly celebrating 30 meters out.
5,000 meters on the track, ready to roll. Collegiate National Lead.
Going to close there on her inside, but it looks like Shaki could take this front to 200-meter final.
Brad Fisher, the American record holder.
This is superhuman.
But Holloway crossed to London. He's only 3 100s outside the world record.
Pitching change at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Good start for Trevor Baumler. He goes 4 1/3, gives up a run on 5 hits, couple walks, 3 strikeouts, responsible for the runners on first and second in a 1-0 game. He gives way to Trey Newman, making his TCU debut. We expect to see a whole lot of off speed for the former Cal Golden Bear.
Yeah, all 6'6" of Trey Newman, and they've got great stuff. He's fastball low 90s, but really good slider curveball combination. Good command of both those pitches.
Starts with the fastball, down and away. Loses his hat in the process. Umpires, as we came back from break, giving him an extra long look at his hands and arms, and that's part of the new rules as well in college baseball, checking for foreign substances.
I think there was a question mark about maybe an emblem on his glove or
interesting.
Something. Yeah, they had him pull the glove off, and they took a look at it.
Because he kept asking them to check his hands, and they're like, "No, your hands are good. It's not that." 2-0 the count here to D. Kennedy.
Yeah, they're putting all kinds of logos and different colors on the gloves these days. They customize these, and the TCU logo has a white outline on it. I think there was a question mark about whether that was legal or not. And there it is. Yeah, you got the Major League Baseball emblem on the back and the TCU logo on the front.
Swing and a miss. Slider on 2-0.
Yeah, it's a wicked slider, and it's his out pitch.
There's the TCU logo there. A lot of different colors. Lots going on
That's
that
right.
glove.
That's a busy glove.
Another slider makes it 2-2.
Another former pitcher that Horned Frog fans will remember. Jared Janczak had an outstanding slider curveball combination as well. A lot of folks say that Newman's slider reminds them a lot of Janczak.
Runners go, swing and a miss, strike 3, but the throw is high. And a Wildcat runner will score. Dean in all the way from second base as that speed of the Wildcats induces an error from Carson Bowen.
Yeah, well, Newman records the big strikeout on D. Kennedy, but runners were off and going. Yeah, Newman not especially quick to the plate. It was kind of one looking back at second base and going, and great pickup by Micah Dean. Took off on the pitch, and the throw from Bowen just high, misses the mark. Gamster can't come up with it. That'll result in the second Wildcat run.
First pitch slider misses to Nick English. The second time K-State has attempted to double steal. The first time it was negated by a foul. In a game that feels like runs will be at a premium, that is huge to take a 2-0 lead, and the count's 2-0 now as the slider's outside.
And heads up running by Seth Dardar as well, makes his way all the way over to third base. We'll have to be careful about trying to bury a breaking ball here.
Just outside with the fastball, 3-0 to Nick English. English not a guy you want to lose because Inuowe and then Madliak in the 6 and 7 holes behind him have both hit the ball with authority all weekend. Taking all the way at a strike.
And you get the left-hander Inuowe on deck. Certainly don't want to face him as hot as he's been swinging.
To the right side, base hit, English. Dardar scores from third. A beautiful approach to the opposite field, and it's 3-0 K-State.
Yeah, great piece of hitting by Nick English. You get to a 3-1 count, it's an advantage count. You're sitting fastball. A lot of times hitters try to just do too much with it, but takes that pitch nicely on the outside part of the plate, punches it into right field. He'll pick up a big 2-out RBI. That extends K-State's lead to 3.
So even though the first run came home on the error, that ball is inside. We ended up getting a hit. Would have been with the bases loaded anyway. Probably scores both. So that E2, you could argue, would have been a moot point. But for now, one of those runs is still unearned technically as Ino Uwe comes to the plate. It's all the same to K-State, 3-0 lead.
Got to close the book on Trevor Baumler. He'll give up 5 hits in his 4 1/3. Talked about the 2 earned runs, Ben. 3 total, but 2 walks and 3 Ks for Baumler. Not a bad outing. Just got a guy across the field from him that's pitching a lot better.
Curveball outside, 2-0 to Shintaro Inoue. Two for 8 this weekend, but has hit a couple balls really hard right at people. Excuse me swing there on a slider that fooled him. Here's the bio on Inoue from Yamaguchi, Japan. Moved to Nebraska for junior college, where he put up incredible numbers. Over 375 his average. Sends one back up the box, long range, and it's off the heel of the glove of Kramer. The inning continues as Inoue just feels his way bat to ball and is on base.
Yeah, I don't think Kramer had a shot had he come up with that cleanly. Inoue with some pretty good wheels busted down first base, and
it is ruled a base hit.
Yeah, I didn't have a shot at second base either to get English, so it'll be an infield single.
And Bear Madliak takes a slider outside. He has been basically impossible to get out. 5 for 7, a single, a double.
And the bottom of this Kansas State lineup has been really productive.
That one almost thrown away. Kramer had to herky jerk himself around the body of the diving Nick English. Bear Madliak really embodies the turnaround of this K-State team from weekend 1 to 2. 1 for 12 last weekend, 5 for 7 now. And he's ahead in the count, 2-0 on a slider that misses. Check swing. Did not go though. And it's 3-0.
Yeah, good hold on Madliak, and Newman really battling command issues. He's fallen behind almost every hitter he's faced. Yeah, good hold there.
It misses. 4-pitch walk to Madliak, who's on base for a 3rd straight time, and the bases are loaded for Maximus Martin.
Yeah, we're going to have a call to the pen again yet this inning. Kirk Sarlo says, seen enough. Unfortunate outing for Trey Newman. Only able to record 1 out.
Trey Newman's collegiate debut was for Cal against Kansas State. Went 4 innings, struck out 6, but his debut for TCU against K-State not meant to be. Does not go the same way as he gives up 2 hits and a walk around a strikeout. And a new pitcher is coming in. Nate Stern, the freshman, takes over when we return with the bases loaded and 2 outs. 2 runs already in the 5th. Base is loaded with 2 outs, and TCU goes to the bullpen. The lanky freshman Nate Stern from California, who made his collegiate debut in his home state last weekend, called into action in a massive spot.
Yeah, big spot. A lot of trust from his head coach Kirk Saarloos. Come out here with bases loaded in the 5th inning. It's a power arm, mid-90s fastball from Stern and slider changeup combination. On for his 2nd appearance of the season. First one was pretty good.
Retired all 3 batters he faced there. The 1-0 fastball on a similar spot misses down, and it's 2-0. Maximus Martin gave K-State the lead last inning as part of the 2-out rally. Swinging hard and drives it into the gap. Maximus Martin does it again. As 2 more Wildcats score, they've opened it up a 5-0 lead.
Just a great swing from Martin. Use that advantage 2-0 count to his favor and gets a fastball up middle in, and he knows exactly what to do with that pitch. Turned on it and drove it into the gap. Good job of Chase Brunson to get over and cut it off, and really kept that 3rd run from coming in off the bat of Martin. But big 2-out double, 2 RBI, and Kansas State boosts that lead to 5.
Both of those runs charged to Trey Newman, who got just an out. The fastball finds the zone on David Bishop. Started out as a pitcher's duel. All of a sudden, K-State has found the offense. 5 runs. Slider inside, and it's 1-1. And their starter, Lincoln Sheffield, is still out there. Has thrown pretty much 4 stress-free innings to this point.
Had a big rest here between 2 pitching changes. It's been about a 20-minute inning so far, but see how Sheffield responds to that.
2-1 now as the curveball misses.
TCU trying to find that 3rd out here in the 5th.
Fastball command not there so far for Stern, who misses, and it's 3-1. David Bishop watches Nate Stern fire strike on the outside edge, 3-2.
Yeah, well located there, down in the strike zone, and needs to challenge Bishop here.
9th batter of the inning for K-State. 4 runs already across. Missed inside, curveball. It never threatened the zone, and the bases are reloaded for Dante Lewis in the top of the order.
Yeah, 2nd walk of the game for David Bishop. The bullpen has been a little bit of letdown here in the 5th inning. And we're going to see Kirk Saarloos yet make another trek to the mound. 3rd time in this 5th inning, and he has made the call.
2 different relievers have combined to get just 1 out across 6 batters in the 5th. Nate Stern is out after throwing 9 pitches. We'll see a 4th TCU pitcher of the inning. 4 runs already in. Base is still loaded, full of Wildcats. 5-0 Kansas State, and still threatening in the 5th. 4th different pitcher Kirk Saarloos is used, but it is great to see Cohen Feaser back healthy. Pat, we saw him a couple years ago, then missed all of last year with injury. Guy who has a career .294 ERA, and his coach desperate for him and his team desperate to get a 3rd out here.
Yeah, no doubt. Not only a 3rd out here, but yeah, as you said, Ben, great to see him back on the rubber. Missed all of last season, and really effective out of the pen for TCU. It's a low 90s fastball, but slider changeup combination. He has pretty good command of both pitches.
First pitch, swing and a miss on a slider to Dante Lewis.
Yeah, Feaser will be called upon quite often. He can eat some innings up. The only question mark is how to best use him as a either long guy, stretch him out, or maybe be part of a setup situation. Doesn't have closer type stuff, but can really be a good setup guy late in ball games as well.
Really nice block there by Carson Bowen on a ball that bounced about 10 feet in front of home plate.
Yeah, great
Left
job.
A little, divot mark, as if that was a sand wedge out of a bunker. It's 1-1 to Lewis, 10th man to bat in the inning. Big wave and a miss. That slider again makes it 1-2.
Yeah, should get another one here. See if he can keep that front side closed long enough. Kind of flew open to those 2 sliders before.
Lewis asks for time, the one that he is allowed to have each AB. Lewis led off this 5th inning with a fly out to left, and at that point Trevor Baumler was cruising, but here we are 3 pitchers later, still in the inning. 4 runs have crossed, and Cohen Feaser trying to clean things up with Trey Newman responsible for Madliak at 3rd and Nate Stern responsible for Martin at 2nd and Bishop at 1st. Kirk Saarloos back out of the dugout again. He's gotten his steps in today, to say the least.
That's right. Between umpire conferences and pitching mound conferences.
I believe something to do with the protocol post batter timeout that was taken. Lewis steps back in. They reset the pitch clock, and here we go. Swing and a miss. Slider gets him. And Feaser finally ends the inning for TCU, but not before K-State scores 4 in the 5th. They lead at 5-0 as we're halfway home from Globe Life Field in Arlington.
Record-breaking global superstar Shakira, live in Arlington. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran World Tour. Globe Life Field, June 11th. The phenomenal new album Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran is available everywhere now. Get tickets now at Shakira.com.
Now I'm in the back of the church, begging God just to stop the run. Excuse me, you look like you love me.
Back at Globe Life Field, 5-0 K-State on top of TCU, as this is our final game of the weekend. But the baseball doesn't stop here. The Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota continues during the midweek. It's a top 25 matchup of number 3 LSU taking on 20th ranked Dallas Baptist this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. Catch all the action right here on Flow College. Expect a great midweek crowd for that one.
Yeah, should be. Good matchup.
We had the top 20 matchup last night, almost 18,000 in the building. As this slider misses to Carson Bowen starting the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, it took a while to get those hog calls going last night, but they finally came around. Scored a couple late. Big double off the bat of Kahil Aloy. And that's all Arkansas needed.
2-0 to Bowen. And as this works 3-0, the question we were wondering, Pat, after Lincoln Sheffield sat in the dugout for about a half hour, how would he look coming back out? He's been basically perfect.
Long delay. Sometimes a pitcher can get cold. That body just cools down after 20, 25 minutes. And yeah, Sheffield, first blip on his screen today.
4-pitch walk had only allowed a double in the bottom of the second to Cole Kramer. That was it.
Yeah, this is a situation where you want to make TCU earn everything they get. It's a powerful lineup, and they will take advantage of free passes, and you've got this 5-run cushion, but TCU is looking to chop into that lead this inning.
Sam Myers takes a called strike. One of 4 strikeout victims so far from Lincoln Sheffield. He's from Mississippi, Flowood. He stayed in his home state to go to JUCO. Myers off the end of the bat. Dean took a step back, now comes in and makes the catch for the first out.
Yeah, good recovery for Sheffield, and after 4 straight balls, gets right back into it with Myers. Works ahead, gets the quick pop out.
Faces Anthony Silva, does Lincoln Sheffield. Part of a pitching staff that has a lot of new faces. They struggled last year, though. 5.43 ERA. That was 8th out of the 13 teams in the Big 12. Called strike here with the slider. They were one of the last at-large selections by the committee after being a snub 2 of the previous 3 seasons for the NCAA tournament. And then took advantage of that opportunity, winning the Arkansas Regional, going to Supers. Called strike, 0-2. That run's all the more impressive when you look at the stats and see it was a grind for a lot of the season for K-State, and they just barely got in.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the things that Pete Hughes will tell you as he learned, you know, in terms of trying to build that RPI. They just had to play some better competition. So he loaded up the schedule this year. Boy, you look at their schedule to open the season, it is a gauntlet.
Just outside on 0-2. They will come right back to Texas next weekend. Get LSU, Nebraska, who's ranked out of the Big Ten, and Sam Houston, always a dangerous small conference school. Slow roller, if that's fair, it's trouble, but it's just foul.
Yeah, Sheffield that time shook to the changeup. See the pitch comm comes into his watch. First catcher wears that same instrument on his wrist, and pitch came in and he quickly shook his head. He said, I want the changeup. We saw Dante Lewis do that a couple times last night. So impressive to see a freshman shake off his coaches out of the dugout. But you got to have high conviction as a pitcher, and I agree with coaches calling pitches at this level. As a pitcher, you need to have that final word on, do I feel good to throw that particular pitch?
Slider just outside, evens the count 2-2. And that gives your coaches a good deal of confidence in you, and you are able to say, you know what, I want something else.
That's right.
Goes to the changeup, swing and a miss. Silva down to one knee as it's a 5th K for Sheffield.
Yeah, good pitch, went back to it. That's the pitch you wanted to get Silva out with. He was setting him up with the slider. Usually you say, well, why wouldn't you set him up with a fastball? Well, Silva's a really good fastball hitter. He was trying to get to that changeup, and he does, just tied him up. Way out ahead.
That is such a good point, Pat, that people don't necessarily think about. You don't necessarily need to go hard just to set up your preferred soft pitch. It can be soft to soft as that slider finds the outside edge.
Well, hitters are so good, they can pick up spin. You know, you see the slider coming off the hand usually, and you know, the first time you don't see the spin, you're thinking fastball. I've heard
slider stays inside.
Heard coaches say you never want to throw a changeup off a breaking pitch, and I disagree with that.
You have that experience of you can't just throw a fastball as a get him over to set up the off speed. If you do that, you're probably going to be watching the ball fly into the seats. There's a foul off.
Especially to a dead red fastball hitter. You know, if you want to waste the fastball up to show it to him, that's fine, but you don't have to set him up with the fastball. Yeah, Sheffield's showing you how to do it. He's using that soft stuff really well tonight, and TCU has not adjusted well.
The 1-2. Punch to the left side. Hangs up there for Lewis to make the catch, and another scoreless inning for Lincoln Sheffield. He's allowed just a single hit, no runs through 5 innings as K-State leads by 5.
Golden Chick's new Golden Bowl is so big, it's a whole lot of yes and a whole lot of yum. So if you like big bowls, then we cannot lie. The new loaded mashed potato bowl is a whole lot of Golden Chick, a big bowl you can't deny.
Woodcraft and their dedicated Amegy business banker work together to put the us in business banking, creating a long-lasting relationship with open and quick communication. Now it's your turn with your own dedicated Amegy business banker with banking experience in your industry, because you're more than a customer. We're more than a bank, and together we'll work to help put your business on solid financial footing with comprehensive financing options, earned interest on your accounts, and yes, the support you need to reach your business goals faster. Here we collaborate. Here you grow.
Final game of the weekend from Globe Life Field, 5-0 K-State going to the 6th. Some people know this as the home of the Rangers, host of that COVID World Series. Some now know it as the home of college baseball. Great venue here in North Texas, and it's given us this great opportunity to have early season college baseball. Not 1, not 2, but 3 weekends to start the year.
Yeah, beautiful facility, and what a great use of this field and this stadium for college baseball. Big tip of the hat to Rev Entertainment. Of course, working side by side with the Rangers to put on these types of events, and Rangers have gone all in on serving the college baseball market, and it has been fun to watch. Not only the weekend series that Ben and we've got to cover, but these midweek games now. They're starting to increase the use of the stadium for those midweek games prior to the Rangers starting their regular season.
Micah Dean leading off the 6th. Big wave and a miss. People down here are ready for baseball. They've been ready for a couple months.
Oh, yeah.
And this is that appetizer before the Major League season starts. And it'll be that fun 3-month span or so when we get Major League and college baseball concurrently. Fouled off, 0-2.
Well, the weather's been so crazy here in Texas. We've had a couple of 80-degree days. Then earlier this week, that polar vortex hit. We had a couple of mid-teen days. It's been wild. But the best news is that this covered stadium here at Globe Life Field offers the opportunity for these college teams to come and make sure they're going to get all their games in.
Upstairs on the fastball. And we had to table our group golf outing for the morning. You know, not happening this time.
Yeah,
Pat.
a little chilly.
Maybe next year. It's all good. We would have been as this pitch is sent to left field. Will that hang up for Myers? It will.
Nice catch.
Nice catch. Sam Myers coming in.
Yeah, Myers read that well off the bat. Came charging hard. Just a great read in left field. And if he takes that little stutter step back like they teach outfitters, there's no way he gets to that. But great job robbing a single from Micah Dean.
It is funny how when we first came here a few years ago, so much of the conversation was, what do you tell your guys? How do you adapt to this Major League park? Do you change your approach? It's such a huge alley in left and right center. And for these teams, they're so used to it now, it really doesn't change anything. And a great example of that by Sam Myers as the pitch is taken for a strike. He had a great read on that ball off the bat.
Yeah, it is a challenge, you know, when you don't play here full time. But yeah, TCU, we've talked about, you know, this is kind of their home away from home. They've played so many games here last few years. These guys know this stadium well.
Called strike to Seth Dardar. 0-2.
Yeah, Fieser with a big smile, like, yep, that was the right call there.
How happy must he be just to be back on the mound in a real-life game?
Man. Yeah, you bet.
Love to see that smile on the face. He gets a soft liner taken on a hop by Silva for the second out.
Stretch.
Very soft throw, but he was just testing the flexibility of Isaac Cadena over there.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to start out to be an easy play, but Silva a little offline with the throw, and Cadena had to stretch as far as he could to reel it in.
Much needed for Kirk Saarloos and the TCU pitching staff after they needed 3 different relievers to get through the 5th inning. Cohen Fieser back out there after cleaning up that inning that saw 4 K-State runs cross the plate. Fires the first pitch strike on D. Kennedy. In there, strike 2.
Yeah, another good slider.
Cut to that,
yeah.
that fastball, yeah. Can cut it, can slide it. If there's a staff you trust to bring an injured pitcher back to full confidence, TCU is certainly at the top of the list with their pedigree. Fouled off. 4th best ERA nationally since Kirk Saarloos took over as pitching coach in 2013. Still here running the pitchers, also happens to be head coach now.
Yeah, did it for 8 seasons under Jim Schlossnagel. Schloss left in 2021 to take the job at A&M, and now obviously on to Texas. But yeah, one of the great staffs put together here by Schloss, with Bill Mosiello as a hitting coach, offensive guru, and of course Kirk running the pitchers. Kirk has had a couple of other names. John DeLora, great recruiter in his 4th season, 7th overall. And then Dave Lawn.
Fieser handles that one on a hop. He's like, I'm back on the mound. It's been over a year. Let me take it myself. His 2nd outing of the season coming back from injury. And he's looked great tonight. As he sends this game to the bottom of the 6th. Still K-State by 5. Wildcats by 5 on top of the Horned Frogs, bottom of the 6th. Lincoln Sheffield continues to roll, pounds the zone with a first pitch changeup. 70 pitches through 5 innings, Pat. What stood out to you the most about this lefty?
Just super impressive. Well, we talked about before the game that the question mark was, will this JUCO transfer, will the stuff translate to the D1 level? And I think we can say, yeah, that question mark has been answered. Well, what's really impressed me is just his ability to work ahead, and he just pounds the zone continually. And I can't recall, maybe one time last inning where he got behind a hitter, lost him. But 69% strikes. He's thrown 71 pitches. 49 of those have crossed the plate.
Flair off the bat of Gamster to start the 6th, but an easy play for Ino Ue. 73 pitches now for Sheffield. He threw 74 in his first start last week in a loss at Coastal Carolina, in which he gave up 3 runs on 10 hits. But as Coach Pete Hughes said, the stuff was way better than the final line score, and that statement has clearly translated into today.
Proven to be true. And, could you stretch him out one running if he gets, to 80 pitches? Maybe, but it's still early in the season. If you kind of project him to be your number 3 starter, certainly want to protect the arm. But, the other part that really impresses me too, Ben, is the fact that, he doesn't have an overpowering fastball. He's really comfortable with, being in that 88 to 90 fastball range, but it's the breaking ball and the changeup consistently thrown for strikes.
Slider outside here to Isaac Cadena, 2-0.
Makes that fastball look harder.
Can't find the zone here, and it's 3-0. K-State does have activity down in the pen. How about a slider on 3-0?
Yeah, and he shook to get to it. That was his call.
Pitching fast with a lot of confidence. This ball pounded into the gap all over that slider, and Cadena has extra bases. This gets all the way to the wall, and he's chugging for 3. Relay is not in time. Cadena makes it to 3rd.
Now Sheffield just went to the well one too many times and threw the 3-0 slider. So Cadena's thinking, okay, if he's going to throw it 3-0, I'm going to sit on it 3-1. And just a great job, great approach. Put the barrel on it, mashed it to the gap, and looks like Micah Dean just took a little bit of a bad angle to it. Should have been able to cut that ball off before it got to the wall. That allows Cadena to scoot into 3rd base.
First pitch taken for a called strike by Chase Brunson. That was actually a really good relay by K-State. Based on where Dean picked that ball up, you assume that would be an easy triple for Cadena. He's 90 feet away from scoring the Horned Frogs' first run of the game, but they're down 5. That's inside on the fastball, 1-1. On the 80th pitch of the late afternoon for Lincoln Sheffield. High drive off the bat of Brunson. Did he get all of it? He did not. Caught at the wall. Just missed a homer. It will be a sac fly as TCU's finally on the board.
Yeah, just missed it. Or maybe just a tad off the end of the bat, but Brunson showing you how strong he is, and maybe a little bit out in front of that slider delivery from Sheffield, and takes Dante Lewis all the way against the wall. And good job by Lewis to kind of feel where he was, make that catch. He'll record the 2nd out of the inning, but TCU does get the breakthrough on the scoreboard.
Oh, Franco takes a called strike. 3 for 10 this weekend, the Big 12 preseason freshman of the year. Another strike. This is some Mark Burley level speed that Sheffield is working with.
He loves working fast.
Not talking about the fastball velocity, we're talking time in between pitches. This is high. He can feel it too. This is his last inning. Wants to finish strong, get through the frame.
Yeah, you don't need a pitch clock for this guy.
Just staying alive on that slider.
Really talented freshman hitter Noah Franco, and just had some problems trying to stay in with that slider today.
Got him. One more time to the slider. Take a bow, Lincoln Sheffield. 6 innings, 6 Ks, just 2 hits and a single run allowed as his Wildcats head to the 7th inning up by 4. Kansas State leads it 5-1. This is how they started the scoring in the 4th inning and have scored all their runs, Pat, with 2 outs today. It's been timely for K-State.
Yeah, absolutely. And Maximus Martin, the hero right now, with 3 RBI. And the 5th inning was the big inning that broke it open for them. And here's the overthrow from catcher Bowen.
That does count as a 2-out run.
That does count as a 2-out run. And then Maximus Martin delivers yet again. There's the double from Martin. And they'll put up a 5-0 lead for the Wildcats.
This ball driven hard, deep to left field and over the head of Myers, excuse me. We're talking so much about Maximus Martin. He's due up 4th in the inning, and he will likely get an AB because Nick English leads things off with a double. That ball hit hard, 103.5 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah, this breaking ball just kind of hangs up in the zone for English. First mistake that Cohen Feaser has made. Answer for K-State, though. You give up a run in the bottom of the inning, you come right back and start off the leadoff double.
5 through 9 in the order has been tremendous for K-State today. Showing bunt, that's off the glove of Bowen. English can advance.
Yeah, pitch off the glove of Bowen, and like he just handcuffed him a little bit.
Pass ball.
Yeah, should have caught that one.
Infield playing midway as the changeup is outside 2-0. 8 hits from the 5 through 9 spots in the order for the Wildcats. Just catches the outside edge. 2-1 to Inoue, who's 2 for 3 himself, has scored a run, part of that 4-run 5th inning.
Yeah, if you're Inoue, you're really trying to find a pitch up in the zone, something you can drive to the outfield. Backdoor breaker just misses.
First time Cohen Feaser has been in trouble himself. He came into a bases loaded situation, got out of it in the 5th, then pitched a clean 6th. Drive off the bat of Inoue. That is over the head of Stroh-Snyder. He did get a pitch he could drive into the outfield, and now Inoue has a chance for 3 as it was misplayed out there off the wall. 6-1 K-State as English scores.
Yeah, he got that pitch up in the zone. Another hanging breaking ball from Feaser, and Inoue just crushes it over the head of Stroh-Snyder in right field. And Stroh-Snyder had the ball played pretty cleanly off the wall, but then took his eye off it, ticks off his glove, and by the time he gets back to corral it, Shintaro Inoue is at third base standing up.
Third hit of the day for the native of Japan, as Bear Madliak, who couldn't be any hotter, comes up and watches a curveball miss outside. They will rule that a double and an E9.
Yeah, how about the answer by these Wildcats? They give up the run in the bottom of the 6th to TCU. They come right back in the 7th. And a chance to add on.
Outside to Madliak, 2-0. They have not been able to retire Bear Madliak today. A single, a double, and a walk. 5 for 7 this weekend. That gets Kirk Saarloos out of the dugout, as it's been a tough inning for Feaser so far.
Yeah, bullpen is hot for the Frogs, and see what Saarloos wants to do here. He's got first base open, as hot as Madliak has been swinging it last couple of days. But really, you don't want to walk him. You've got Maximus Martin on deck, who's been equally as hot today. Lucas Shin warming up for the Frogs.
TCU finally got some offensive momentum with the run in the last inning, but K-State's immediately answered. Cut fastball outside to make it 3-0. Taking all the way, it's another walk for Madliak, on base all 4 times. Funny how lineups work. Sometimes the bottom of the order just looks so much more terrifying, and that's how it's been for the Wildcats today.
They have produced big time today. Yeah, there's the gummy bear from their first base coach. You get to first base, you earn a gummy bear.
Why not?
A little sugar to get the wheels going on the base paths, I'd imagine, but Saarloos will make the move now, and we will see Shin out of the bullpen.
Cohen Feaser got off to a good start, retired the first 4 he faced, but runs into some trouble in the 7th. A couple doubles, a run, and a walk, and his evening is done. Lucas Shin set to enter for TCU. Horned Frogs in trouble of letting this one get blown wide open. They trail 6-1. K-State with 2 ducks on the pond and nobody out in the 7th. back in the home of the Texas Rangers, where K-State leads TCU 6-1 in the top of the 7th. Your college sports have a home on Flo College. Watch more than 12,000 college sporting events from 100 schools and 12 different conferences only on Flo College. Head to FloCollege.com today to see everything now. We have a new pitcher into the game for TCU. If you're wondering why Lucas Shin is back out there for a second straight day of work, it's because he threw one pitch last night, Pat, got one out in a lefty-lefty matchup and came out of the game. So Kirk Saarloos has him ready to rock.
Did his job. He has to face a right-hander out of the pen, but yeah, Lucas Shin, the transfer from Washington, looking to be a left-handed specialist out of this pen for the Horned Frogs this season.
Showing bunt, and it's pulled back by Maximus Martin. Ball 1. Runners on the corners, nobody out. First 3 in the inning have all reached. Back-to-back doubles by English and Inoue. Inoue took third on an error by the right fielder Stroh-Snyder, then a walk to Madliak. Bunt is down but foul.
Yeah, it's not a bad call to try to have Maximus Martin bunt here. Preferably want that bunt pushed towards the first baseman, make Cadena field it. Get the sacrifice, you can move Madliak to second. If it's a good enough bunt, you might get Inoue in from third base.
Playing this like a true Big 12 tournament game, aren't they? K-State bunting again, this time foul.
Yeah, that needs to work on that part of his game. Those were not two very good bunt attempts.
The last 2 times Martin came to the plate, he had run-scoring hits, a single and then a double. He's probably thinking, I can do a lot better than just bunt. Holds off on a pitch in the dirt. Nice block by Bowen. We know Lucas Shin will throw more than one pitch tonight. He's already done that. California product. As that one bounce off the shin of Carson Bowen, the wild pitch scores Inoue from third. Madliak down to second as the count runs full.
It looked like Bowen kind of popped up on that ball and was trying to glove it instead of trying to block it. That short hop kicks off his shin, and it'll be the 7th K-State run, second of the inning.
Both of those runs charged to Cohen Feaser, still responsible for Madliak. Chopper to the left side off a couple of TCU gloves. Infield single. Had one of Gamster or Silva at least gotten the ball in their glove, they would have held Madliak at second. Instead, he goes to third.
Yeah, hard hit ball, and it was that second hop, had a lot of top spin on it. That's usually one that eats you up, but it sure did that time to Gamster. Only play there would have been to charge it, which is really difficult when the ball's hit that hard, but got to try to catch it before that second hop. Now TCU will bring their infield halfway in again. If it's hit hard enough, they can turn the double play. They'll do that and give up the run.
David Bishop showing bunt. He gets it down. Little safety squeeze. Not in time on the flip to home. Madliak fired up, the catcher with a head-first slide, and it's 8-1. Gotta love Bear.
How about the Bear? Second head-first slide into home, and you gotta love it. He's just full of energy, and yeah, not a bad play by Shin. The flip was just a little bit high. Yeah, and TCU's gonna challenge this. They're gonna lose the challenge. Madliak definitely sliding across the plate with his hand before that tag is applied. But if you're Kirk Saarloos at this point in the game, why not? You're down 8-1, and a close play at the plate, but not that close.
More of a frustration challenge than anything.
Yeah, if the flip is lower, it gets him. Shin came off the mound and scooped it with his glove and just tried to flip it with his glove. Yeah, this should be a quick replay here. Clint Fagan, home plate umpire, right on top of that call, and that was the right call.
Give credit to Bear Medliak.
Yeah.
The first slide was sort of belly flop, shin, knee into home plate sort of deal, and that one looked really good.
Much better. That's how you do it, Bear. Well, this call will stand. It's going to be 8-1, and TCU yet to record an out here in the 7th inning.
This has gone from pitcher's duel to potential blowout for K-State.
Yeah, now David Bishop's going to get a fielder's choice. Won't be called a single. With Shin going to home with it, so it'll be a 1-2 on the scorecard.
Does give him an RBI against his former team. And we get the call. Confirmed. 8-1 K-State.
Well, they batted around in the 5th. They're trying to do it again here in the 7th.
First 5 have reached. And a pinch hitter coming up, top of the order. Dante Lewis had struggled today batting leadoff, 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. Wildcats go to the bench, and the Texas native from Amarillo, Caden Phillips, backup catcher. Gets himself ready to dig in. Showing bunt. That one's in the dirt. Both runners advance. These Wildcats love to pounce. Martin to third, Bishop to second on the wild pitch.
Yeah, another breaking ball from Shin that just doesn't quite reach the glove of Bowen, and Bowen has just really struggled trying to keep those pitches out in front of him.
Phillips fouls it off, 1-1. First opportunity for him to get action today. Been in the program a few years for Pete Hughes. 0 for 5 this season. Sends one foul. Backup catcher last year and reserve the previous 2 seasons. Has an opportunity to do some damage. K-State with 4 in the 5th, now with 3 in the 7th, and still nobody out. Swing and a miss. Got him with the slider. Sorely needed for Lucas Shin.
Yeah, good breaking ball that time from Shin, and Phillips sounded like he tipped it, but right into the glove of Bowen. Bowen's able to hold on to it. Yep, sure did. Got a small piece of it.
Phillips down on strikes. Now Micah Dean. Infield in. Swing and a miss with that fastball.
Yeah, Micah Dean just needs to put the ball in play here. Force the TCU defense to make a play. And they'll afford to give up any more runs at this point. Getting too late in the game.
Taken just outside on a slider. If this was a normal regular season Sunday game of a series, maybe you don't see the infield in. Maybe you don't see K-State try a safety squeeze.
Right.
6 runs in the 7th, but this gives them that opportunity. Big hack on 2-1.
Yeah, late on the fastball. 92 on the gun. Shin can rock you to sleep with the soft stuff and then Blew that fastball.
High and outside, 3-2. Two power bats waiting in the wings, Seth Dardar and D. Kennedy. Punched foul. Dean has, it might have been.
Yeah.
Dean has just 3 hits this season, but one of them was huge. The game-winning double to upset Arkansas Friday night in a 3-2 win. Had a base knock, part of the huge 4-run rally in the 5th. And stays alive here. That's sort of K-State in a nutshell, isn't it?
Really
Numbers
is.
might not be
Clutch
pretty,
hitting.
but they find ways to manufacture when it matters.
Well, they have this weekend, and that's what Pete Hughes was looking for. Chance to go 3-0 in Arlington. That could be like one of these series that just turns the entire season around.
Driven into the gap, down for Micah Dean. 2 more Wildcats come around to score. It's a 10-2 game.
And Micah Dean earns a gummy.
Well earned after that, AB.
Yeah, 2 RBI for Dean. Thought he might keep going to second, but good job Chase Brunson getting there to cut that ball off. And we're going to see another TCU pitching change, but there's a knock by Micah Dean. Picks up 2 more RBI, extends the lead to 9. And K-State may not be done. We're going to see another pitching change. It's going to be Jax Traeger making an appearance for the Frogs.
Second crooked inning in the last 3 for K-State. They lead at 10-1, still threatening in the 7th. As we get you set up with a new TCU pitcher when we return. Five runs in the 7th inning for K-State. Head coach Pete Hughes, a happy man. So is his associate head coach Austin Waits. To the right of him, Austin had a great career at Va-Tech in the late 2000s, 5 years in the minors and the Astros organization. And K-State is rolling 10-1. Runner going. They're still running here as that pitch goes to the backstop. That's how the first pitch of 2025 goes for Jax Traeger in his 3rd year in the program. 12th career appearance for TCU.
Yeah, K-State trying to get that 10th run across the plate. Make it 11th run. Would be a 10-run lead, and the 10-run rule is in effect.
K-State taking out some anger in retrospect after getting swept in this same tournament 4 years ago. Check swing, runner going. That throw is picked and in time. They get Dean on a really nice pick by Gamster. Had to dig that out of the dirt.
Yeah, it was a great pick at third base by Gamster, but I thought the hand of Micah Dean got underneath the tag. Good stop that time by Bowen. Kept it right out in front. Yep.
Oh, you're right.
Nice
he got
swim
in there.
Tag. Yeah, he was in there. Yeah, Gamster just missed the tag. He went down where he was supposed to go with the glove in front of the base, but Dean just did a great job of getting that hand around the glove. Well, this one shouldn't take too long either, but yeah, John Wolf made the call at third base. And you can see immediately Thomas Hughes, the third base coach, signaled to the dugout, hey, take a look at it. He was safe, and I think Hughes was right. Yeah, Wolf was blocked out. He couldn't see it from that angle behind the head of Micah Dean sliding in, that hand had indeed reached the bag before the tag. Yeah, there's nothing there until after that hand gets to it. So this one should be overturned. Yeah, Wolf just not in a good position to make that call.
And that's one of those balls in the dirt. Even if it's, say, a tie game and you're preaching uber aggression, a lot of base runners would not go on that ball. That just tells you the mentality Kansas State has, even in this position.
No, very aggressive, and of course they can afford to be, but yeah, they see ball and dirt, they're off and running.
The Big 12's leading stolen base team a season ago. All it shows up on in the box score is just a wild pitch, but it still matters for K-State and their staff. As we get one more look, great shots from the replay guys. They've been doing a great job all weekend.
Yeah, that's the replay there that we just saw that's definitive in my mind. I mean, you can see that hand get to the back corner of that bag, or the front corner of that bag before the tag was made. Gamster went to the ground with the tag and then tried to swipe up.
Big shout out to Jeff Oswald, Craig Sepko, our replay guys all weekend as well as last weekend, doing an exceptional job. And that's what the umpires use. They're using our cameras for those official replays. And they're taking a long look at this one.
Oh, they are. Yeah, I thought it was be pretty quick. And after you saw the first replay, you're like, okay, well, yeah. Tag went down to the ground. He got his hand around it. Well, they will come out and make the call.
We think he's safe, but that was a long look. And he is safe. Dean advances to third. That goes down as wild pitch number 2 of the inning.
And that's been very uncharacteristic of this TCU pitching staff. The number of wild pitches, we've seen 1, 2, 3 here in the 7th. Yeah, Bowen's had some issues behind the plate, just trying to corral some of these breaking pitches in the dirt.
2-0 count to Seth Dardar. Infield stays in. And it's 3-0. A 4-pitch walk to Dardar, who has walked 5 times this weekend. Combination of great eyes and pitchers who are afraid to leave him something out over the plate.
Yeah, that's it. They just pitched him really careful. You know, one of the hottest hitters right now in college baseball, 11 hits already this season. And, you know, 5 of those are extra bases, and he's the guy in the lineup you just don't want to make a mistake to.
D. Kennedy 0 for 4 today off of his 3 RBI day this weekend. 3 RBIs over the previous 2 games. Takes a call and strike. Had a homer yesterday.
This does set up the potential double play. TCU infield playing back up the middle.
Kennedy does run really well as another block forced by Carson Bowen. He makes it. The count is 1-1. We have already seen a Traeger this weekend. Jax's younger brother is Nolan, who's the backup catcher, who got the start on Friday.
That's the guy that Kirk Saarloos was saying is our 1A and 1B type setup behind the dish.
Fouled back by Kennedy. Will be really cool at some point this season when it inevitably happens. The brothers get to play pitcher and catcher in a game.
Same battery. I can tell you, having 2 sons that played at the same college, it makes it easy on mom and dad. Come to one ballpark.
Nice for the logistical angle. The 1-2 chop to the left side. They go home with it. It's grabbed by Bowen and an easy tag made on Micah Dean. So even though he got the call overturned at third, eventually he is out at home.
Well, Gamster goes home just because the ball took him towards the third base bag. It was going to be really difficult for him to turn 2. So instead he cuts off the run at the plate. It's a smart play by the third baseman. Yeah, he knows he had Kennedy at the plate. It would have been really hard to turn 2 from that angle with that ball taking him towards the third baseline.
Kirk Saarloos emptying out the pen on a Sunday night. Another reliever set to make his season debut for the Horned Frogs when we return to Globe Life Field. (10-1) Kansas State on top of TCU. That is their director of player and program development, Colin Greaser, hanging out at first base. He has this special job, Pat. Every time a runner reaches first base, give him a gummy bear. He's been a busy man today.
He has. That's a lot of gummy bears because They have scored a lot of runs, so he's seen a lot of Wildcats touch first base, but you get a gummy, you get a gummy. Right on down the line.
I hope they have plenty stocks. That's my big worry on a night like tonight.
Extra big bag of gummy bears.
Nick English bats for the second time this inning and takes a strike, 1-1 against a youngster making his collegiate debut, Carson Cormier, who was a redshirt last year. Big kid though, 6'6", 230 from Westford, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Cormier with good leverage with that 6'6" frame. It's a upper 80s fastball. Slider changeup combination.
2-1 the count to Nick English. Called strike. That's the beauty of this venue, even though it's empty at your bullpen night. It's a 10-1 game, but what must be going through the mind and the veins and the heartbeat of that guy?
Yeah, just get through it one pitch at a time. Hopefully that's what he's thinking about. Good breaking ball there.
Popped foul by English.
And that first outing, you always just want to get it under your belt so you can just quit thinking about it. You know, you spent the entire offseason, you spent the entire summer, you know, you're thinking about this one moment when I get to make my debut on the mound.
Runners go. That's flown into medium center. Brunson camps under it and makes the catch. But 5 more runs score for Kansas State. They send 10 to the plate. As we invite you to keep it here, it's stretch time at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Bank 7th inning stretch. With the Texas flair to a pat, we get the 7th inning stretch. We also get the secondary song as well.
That's right.
They do it pretty much every time here.
You are in Texas.
We are.
The eyes of Texas are upon you.
10-1 game to the bottom of the 7th. And how about this? Lincoln Sheffield, he's not done today. Maybe he told Pete Hughes, I don't want to finish. I'm having too much fun out there.
Well, 86 pitches. I'm a little surprised. Not maybe as much as the pitch count as I am. That was a long inning. So he had a long time to sit. And you get this late in the game, that body starts to cool off. And we'll see how he responds to it. But
fires in a called strike. Still working fast, still working with confidence, and he gets ahead of Cole Kramer.
You can't doubt the effectiveness. What a start for Sheffield, and continues to just keep TCU off balance.
That one off the end of the bat, caught in center field by Caden Carl, newcomer out there. Carl made a nice catch the other night, a sliding catch as a defensive replacement. It's Carson Bowen back up for TCU. Still popping that glove. Even though the velocity's dipped a little bit down to 86 and we're at pitch number 89, but still effective.
Well, big thing, he just continues to fill the glove up. I mean, just pounding the strike zone is Sheffield, and that's been so impressive.
Bounces that slider in the dirt.
Yeah, 90 pitches on the night, 63 of them for strikes.
He was very close to being in a position where this was a chance to get a complete game. Swing and a miss. Change up has Bowen out in front. Punch out number 8.
Yeah, another outstanding changeup from the left arm of Lincoln Sheffield. Man, how good has he been tonight? And that one just kind of hung up in the zone, and Bowen still couldn't catch up.
This weekend for Kansas State, it has been defined in a lot of ways by unbelievable pitching performances. You go back to Friday night, Blake Dean threw 3 2/3 with 5 strikeouts. Didn't give up anything against Arkansas, got the win. That's a called strike to Sam Myers. And then last night, Dante Lewis, 4 perfect innings in relief out of the pen.
Yeah, one of the problems Pete Hughes has is that has not used a lot of his bullpen arms. Probably guys he wanted to see this weekend, and the starters have been so efficient, working themselves deep into each of these games. That maybe he'll empty up the bullpen on their Tuesday midweek game.
You'll take that problem, though.
No
anytime.
doubt about it.
Slider for a strike on Myers.
Yeah, these Horned Frog hitters are just perplexed. Like, man, this guy doesn't have one of those blow-it-away fastballs, but he has been rarely barreled up tonight.
Slow roller to the right side. Inoue charges, can't make the play. And he was playing deep in the hole. And with 2 outs, Sam Myers keeps the inning alive.
Yeah, I think if Inoue had just come up with that, it would have been not in time. Sam Myers with some pretty good wheels busted it down first baseline.
They will give him an E4, though.
Wow.
That's tough.
Shocking, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be able to get Myers.
That's an infield hit, yeah.
Called strike taken by Anthony Silva. Well, at least for now, that E4 means still just 2 hits allowed by Lincoln Sheffield. Hard shot to the left side. Been a frustrating weekend for Silva, off to a 1-9 start, but he gets that base hit to left. Maybe that'll start to turn things around as the Horned Frogs have 2 on with 2 out.
Yeah, Silva finally stayed back on that changeup. Did a good job, and Pete Hughes saying, hey, are you done yet? And Sheffield shaking his head, no, I'm not done yet. I'll let you know. Yeah, you gotta love the competitive spirit that Lincoln Sheffield brings to that mound. Bullpen up and ready.
That was Coach Pete Hughes looking at his pitcher, him getting the nod of I'm good, and him saying, okay, sure.
Yeah, I love it.
Slider for a called strike to Sawyer Stroh-Snyder.
Yeah, you just love the interaction, too, from Pete Hughes to his starting pitcher. And look, that's the trust he has. Like, hey, all right, this is your game. You've earned it.
Hit right into the shift. Inoue with a long throw from that spot, and he makes it. A little karma there. That was a bad luck E4. Inoue didn't deserve it, but he comes up with a great play to end the inning. As we head to the 8th, it's all K-State tonight. Final game of the weekend at Globe Life Field in Arlington, 10-1 K-State. A lot of long hours put in by our entire crew. What a great job they've done. We got Wade Reeves, Edwin Francis, Guy Opper, Graham Rayner, Jimmy Brandt, Tim Daly, Chris Burge, all doing a great job on cameras. There we go. Hey, you gotta find a gap. We got that right there. What an awesome job the crew has done. From early setup days to late nights to all the teardowns. Those are all the outstanding camera guys. In addition to that, our engineers, James Goodlow, Daryl Pierce, Roman and Jake Montoya, our production assistants, Nate Maddock, Kerry Derringer on audio. Kerry gets those headsets on all the coach interviews and for the post-game interviews as well. She does an awesome job down on the field as that's a called strike. Mary Allen, our technical director, Darren Foyt, our director, Lucas Haskins, Phil Hopwood. They've handled everything as our producers as well. Just an awesome crew we've had a pleasure of working with each of the last couple weekends as it's 0-2 to Shintaro Inoue.
Yeah, all professionals. It is makes our job easy.
Swing and a miss by Inoue. Want to give a special shout out to our scorebug operator, Rhett Preston. He's been hanging out with us. He's had to listen to us right next to us all weekend. Well, Rhett's son, Bo, is an outstanding catcher and first baseman at Division II Eastern New Mexico out of the Lone Star Conference. Had a single and an RBI yesterday against New Mexico Highlands. So way to go, Bo. Proud dad up here in the booth. And you can watch all of Bo's games on Flow College, I'm told.
Ah, perfect.
Pretty cool. There we go. Nice little cross promotion.
Got the entire conference.
There, Madliak taking a called strike, 0-2.
We saw Rhett picking on those cams over there.
Oh, yeah. That one bounced in the dirt. Second inning of work for Carson Cormier, who got the final out of the 7th. All right, Bear, what do you got? 4 trips. He's reached 4 times. Couple walks, a single, a double, 2 runs scored. He's gotten 4 gummies. But he's rung up here. Can't keep it going. Called strike 3 on a good pitch.
The Bear goes down first time today. He thought that pitch was downstairs. Yeah, the strike zone might be getting a little bit bigger with this 9-run lead. Just a tick outside the zone. No, we got it inside the zone.
That's the first time you've been wrong in 10 games together, Pat.
One time.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that
we
was
were
down.
like 87 for 87.
I trusted Bear.
Yeah, I would too, honestly. Maximus Martin, half swing foul.
Yeah, good call by Clint Fagan. Yeah, it's been a great crew. You know, you get on these umpires sometimes. We get the benefit of all these instant replays, but they have been right a lot more than wrong this weekend.
Long throw. Wow. Preston Gamster. Nice arm. Made that look awfully easy as Cormier gets the 1-2-3 inning. 10-1 K-State's on top to the bottom of the 8th. A 9-run game to the bottom of the 8th. Big credit to the TCU fans not going anywhere. Their club coming to the plate, and they finally got Lincoln Sheffield out of the game. He is in line to be our player of the game. 7 innings pitched, a single run allowed on 3 hits, 1 walk, 8 punch-outs. All the TCU fans can do is just eat their ice cream out of the Rangers helmet and just kind of watch, take it all in on a Sunday.
Yeah, man, how good was Sheffield tonight? Outstanding, lights out, man. It's 7 innings, 3 hits, only give up on the 1 run. It's this really good TCU lineup. He got to the 100 pitch mark in his 2nd start this year. 71 of those pitches were strikes. He gives way to J.J. Slack.
3rd outing of the year for Slack. A good chance in a 9-run environment to get some mojo going. He struggled last weekend. Couple outings, gave up 4 runs in 2 1/3 innings. Faces the top of the TCU order.
Yeah, Slack has been around the program a long time and really kind of worked his way up. At one time thought he could be a starter, but he's found himself in the bullpen and really working himself in what Pete Hughes says could become our closer. Had a quick arm.
2-0 to Gamster. A Texas kid who went to Division III Southwestern University in Texas. Just outside 3-0. About that, 4 years at the D3 level and pitched a ton. 151 strikeouts in 106 innings. And he misses with a 4-pitch walk. But you know all about all the levels of baseball in Texas. D3 baseball in Texas is
pretty strong.
A lot better than D3 baseball in a lot of places.
Yeah. Had 2 sons that played D3 baseball. One of them got drafted as a catcher by the Miami Marlins. So yeah, you'll see a few of those guys get taken in the draft.
Yep, some good ball.
Yep.
Neither coach really emptying out the bench hitting wise. Isaac Cadena takes a called strike. Been a frustrating couple nights for TCU. They got off to such a great start offensively. Called strike taken. 0-2. 11 homers in a 4-game sweep of San Diego, tied for 4th in the country. Then they come out, put a 10 spot on Michigan Friday, and you figured against Arkansas they'd give that pitching staff all they could handle. But this one's hit hard to right field. That gets down in front of English. First 2 reach in the bottom of the 8th, but last 2 games just 2 combined runs over their last 16 innings. Cadena trying to change that.
Yeah, it's been frustrating for this lineup. It's not nearly what their potential would suggest, and that time Cadena gets a slider. 0-2. He has done a good job hanging in on some tough breaking pitches.
Chase Brunson watches a fastball inside. That one catches the zone. J.J. Slack trying to hold up what's been an amazing relief weekend for K-State. 3 relievers have gone a combined 8 2/3 innings, giving up just 3 hits, no runs. That catches a piece, 1-2.
Yeah, good fastball catches the inside corner. Yeah, TCU needs base runners, and
Brunson with a good eye, levels it at 2-2. Brunson's a guy who can do that for him. TCU today, though, has not seen a right-handed pitcher. 3-2 to Brunson. 0-4-2, but he did have a sac fly his last time up, responsible for the only Horned Frog run. Pulls on one foul.
Yeah, got inside his hands there, and that stung a little bit.
To the left side, could be two. The turn by Inoue, not in time. Good speed by Brunson to beat that out.
Yeah, just not hit quite hard enough. Kennedy, a nice pickup at third base, but the turn at second base by Inoue was quite as crisp as it needed to be. Yeah, just kind of off-balance throw there. Brunson just able to beat it. He's got some speed.
Actually moved Inoue to shortstop. Maximus Martin out of the game.
Ah.
I looked over. That didn't look like Inoue, and they've put in Ty Smolinski, freshman at second base. That ball gets to the backstop, and there's a run for TCU. So they get the runner over on the fielder's choice, and now have their second run of the game on the wild pitch with Noah Franco up. Here, those Horned Frog fans still hanging around, supporting their team despite being down big. They'll actually call that a pass ball. It did hit the glove of Madliak back there. Now we'll call it strike. Cole Kramer in a interesting spot of the on-deck circle. Not really in a circle at all. There's a grounder back up the middle. And a chance for Ty Smolinski. He does make the play. Well, that pass ball proved somewhat costly. Would have probably ended the inning with a double play. Instead, Brunson moves to third. And here is Cole Kramer. Got his first hit of the weekend with a double back in the second. Called strike.
Yeah, Slack, not overpowering fastball. It sits 89-90, but got a little funk to that delivery and kind of gets really down into those legs. Fastball comes out from kind of a low to high angle. It reminds me a little bit of Sid Fernandez, old Mets lefty.
Fouled off.
Doesn't quite have the waistline of Sid Fernandez.
But he does have the stash long hair in the back.
Yes, he does.
Combo going for him. That's swung on and missed. Nice pitch. Slack does give up a run that comes on a pass ball, but it's still an 8-run lead for Kansas State as we go to the 9th inning on our final game from Globe Life Field. Ready for the 9th inning from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Look at the downtown Dallas skyline. Flying in this week, one of those buildings was illuminated with a big scroll that just said "Burr" on it. It was cold earlier this week, but starting to warm up. Perfect baseball weather at all times inside, and this is a potential preview of a Big 12 Conference tournament game in late May as we head to the 9th, and Kansas State leads TCU 10-2 with a couple crooked innings in the 4th and the 5th. And they'll start out this inning with a pinch hitter, A.J. Evasco. We're expecting to see him feature heavily this weekend. It's our first look at the talented 6'6" freshman from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, they'll face off against a freshman new arm for TCU, Tyler Finau.
Hot shot to the left side. That's gloved by Silva, who makes the play for the first out. 8th different pitcher for TCU tonight. A good start for Finau, also making his first appearance of the season.
I like that one pitch, one out for Finau.
Does not spell it like the golfer, Tony Finau. That's a P-H-E-N-O-W, for anybody who is wondering.
That's right.
Tony Finau does have, I think, 6 kids, but Tyler Finau's from Champlin, Minnesota. Good-looking freshman, 6'6", 205. As Caden Carl was a defensive replacement in center, gets an AB and works at the 2-0. Kirk Sarlos wasn't kidding when he told us, I have a lot of freshman arms. I need to get some experience.
Yeah, that's it. Done a good job of getting a lot of those guys into the game tonight. Just have not been able to stop this Wildcat offensive production.
That's an offer on a 2-0 fastball. On the outside edge, 2-2. It's the 3rd AB for Carl this year.
Finau sitting 89-90 with that fastball. That's some arm side run to a right-hander. And there's the curveball.
Carson Bowen still back there. Despite a long night, a lot of pitches blocked. Or attempted to block at least. A lot of those have hit the dirt.
He's going to need an ice bath.
Swing and a miss. Got him to chase on a fastball running outside.
Well, good start for Finau. Kind of that slurve type breaking pitch. And the changeup, but that fastball explosive off his hand gets it by Caden Carl. Yeah, a little cut to it.
First pitch ball to Micah Dean. It's in there for a strike on the curve. This had been a venue, it wasn't all too kind to K-State. They were 5-9 all time at Globe Life Field. Mixed results in the Big 12 tournament, 5-6. Were swept the one time they played in this event in 2022. It's in there for a called strike, but the fortunes have turned this weekend. They'll love coming back here when we get to late May.
Yeah, the team that on paper that we thought most unlikely to win 3 games this weekend.
No doubt.
Kansas State. They have looked really strong today, but it's a couple of big wins throughout the weekend. Of course, upset Arkansas Friday night, 3-2. And the big win last night, and today they're following it up.
Slow roller that stays fair. Nice throw from Gamster. A great 1-2-3 inning from the freshman in his first career outing. Not a bad way to get things started at Globe Life Field. TCU with their final hacks coming up next. Final ups for TCU, 10-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Carson Bowen set to lead off the inning for the Horned Frogs in their first non-con game against K-State. First time they've not met in a regular season Big 12 schedule since 1987. It's been the Wildcats who've had the upper hand. They go to a third pitcher of the night to shut things down. Tazewell Butler, who's been used heavily already this season, 4th appearance. This is just K-State's 8th game. He starts things off with a fastball to Bowen.
Yeah, been impressive too. In the low 90s fastball, but good off speed, spots it well. Just great pitchability. There's 5 strikeouts, no walks so far in his 3 innings of work.
Fouled straight back out of Walters State, a JUCO in Tennessee. Sometimes you see a scouting report and you think it's sort of one of those cliches or scouting terminology. They say quick armed for Tazewell Butler. I don't think that doesn't necessarily mean he's just fast. Here he gets a strikeout on an impressive curveball to set down Bowen.
Yeah, that was nasty. Just a late breaker. Good snap at the end. Completely fools Bowen.
Here's what the scouts mean, though, with that quick armed. See it in a second with the longer release.
Yeah, really tight breaking ball.
Just keeps that arm in tight. It explodes on the release. We'll see it on this pitch to Sam Myers. .92 on the gun.
First player I've ever seen with the name of Tazewell. We've called a lot of games. Have you ever seen a Tazewell?
You've been around baseball longer than I have.
Yeah, now,
I have not seen it.
Taz is a good baseball name, right? Taz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had Jazz, but not Taz.
Yeah, I've never seen a Taz.
1-1 to Sam Myers. Well, this was not the weekend TCU envisioned, even though it started so well against Michigan. 10-4 pounding on Friday. That one's outside on a curve. But for being honest, though, last night was a coin flip game. Could have gone either way. TCU felt like they were right there, had an important call go against them late. And Kirk Saarloos understands this team is not needing to peak now. It's all about the end of the season with so many young players. That one swung on and missed.
Yeah, 93 at the kneecaps. One of those high spin rate fastballs.
The 2-2 to Sam Myers. Spoils it foul.
Yeah, this is early season. This is really trying to figure out roles. You know, who's going to do what when, especially out of the bullpen. And both teams, I think, have had at least some of their questions answered. Kansas State has done it with great success, but yeah, TCU, if this score holds, will come out of here with 2 losses, but really competitive games for them other than tonight.
Foul back. And now an opportunity for TCU to get into a bit of a rhythm. They had that long trip out to San Diego and had to deal with the late news that they'd be without potential starter, a past closer, Ben Abelt. Tommy John surgery for Abelt that he underwent on Wednesday. That threw everything up, threw his team for a loop, Kirk Saarloos, but this 2-2 punch to the left side. You know, Uwe now from second over to short makes the play for the second out. But now TCU can get settled. They do not leave the state of Texas until a series at UCF on April 17th. How about that?
Yeah, that's a long homestand.
They're not all at home, but still, it's short trips. A lot of Fort Worth, a lot of games in Dallas will go to San Marcos for a midweek coming up to take on Texas State. They get DBU. That's a great midweek game in Dallas. Go to Houston for an early Big 12 series.
Yeah, got a pinch hitter.
You've seen Jack Bell a couple times for TCU. Takes a called strike. 2 for 7 on the young season. Fouls went off. It's been an impressive inning from Tazwell Butler. A strike away from getting Kansas State through this weekend. They were 1-4 heading in, had played a lot of sloppy baseball, were basically snowed in North Carolina for a couple days. But here they've come and have beaten 3 previously undefeated teams.
Yeah, really impressive for Pete Hughes and the Wildcats this weekend.
Up high on 0-2.
Butler trying to complete the sweep. This is 3 really good baseball teams that they will have come in to Arlington and beat. That's going to be just do a world of good for their confidence, and you look for those key milestones that can turn your season around. This certainly has been that type of weekend for K-State.
Slow roller, that will stay fair to the right side. It's a tag by the first baseman, Evasco, and that ends the game as Bell is retired. Kansas State did it all this weekend. Pitching, defense, hitting, and they explode with 2 huge innings to roll TCU 10-2 at Globe Life Field and wrap up the weekend in style. The only team to finish a perfect 3-0.
Well, what a weekend for K-State. I'm sure Pete Hughes, after our conference call with him during the week, said, well, we've got to figure it out. We came out of the gate struggling. And they have certainly figured some things out this weekend. But big time win for him and his crew, and for Kirk Sarlos and the TCU Horned Frogs. A lot to build upon. Still got to figure some things out with the bullpen, but that is a really good lineup. A team that should challenge for the top of the Big 12 this season.
Kansas State was 8th in the Big 12 preseason poll. Some might have thought after the first weekend they should have been even lower, but they came out with a vengeance this weekend, and the pitching was simply incredible.
Outstanding.
Speaking of pitchers, we'll finish the weekend with our Leanza Peroni down with the starting pitcher for K-State on the field.
Another top 25 win, and the Wildcats are leaving Arlington 3-0. What has this batch of wins done for the confidence and the momentum of this team?
It's done a lot. I mean, we knew we had it the whole time, but it was just coming together and just winning as a team, and that's what we've done. We knew we could do it.
You were cooking out there on the mound tonight, 8 punch-outs. What was going right for you, and how thankful are you for that defense behind you that kept a couple of those hits away?
It's nice having a good defense behind me. I honestly felt like everything was working tonight, but it was just nice having a good defense.
Now, I learned about a little tradition happening over on the first base. You get a hit, you get a gummy bear. How did this come about, and do pitchers ever get to partake in the gummy bear tradition?
Honestly, I have no idea how it started, but it'd be kind of nice if we got something, because you get kind of hungry sometimes in between innings. So.
3 great wins today and this weekend. What have you learned about this team, and what improvements do you want to keep seeing as this team moves across the season?
We play better when we just come together, and that's what we've done. Starting Tuesday against UNC, it's better when we play together, and that's what we need to do to keep building.
Great job this weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Leanza. Great stuff all weekend. Yeah, pitchers deserve a little snack too, Pat.
That's exactly right. Don't leave out the pitchers, man.
No doubt. Well, what a fun weekend. Pat, a blast as always hanging out with you. We've had a really good time together as this one is in the books. Weekend 2 of our Amegy Bank College Baseball Series presented by Kubota. The final score in this one, Kansas State 10, TCU 2. We have more college baseball still to come. This series continues Wednesday with a midweek showdown. Number 3 LSU and 20th ranked Dallas Baptist. That does it for us. For Leanza Peroni, for Pat Combs, for our entire production crew with Phil Hopwood and Lucas Haskins and the rest of everybody behind the scenes at Flow College, I'm Ben Wilson saying good night from Globe Life Field in Arlington. Kansas State wins weekend number 2, going 3-0.